The Snapdragon Pro Series 2v2 version is here. We got double the elixir, double the trouble, double the cards on the arena. Cashman, I am excited. Tell me a little bit about today. What are your thoughts?
Many. 2v2. It's official. It's back, baby. 2v2. How long has it been since we've seen 2v2 in a competitive scene? 3, 4 years? Well, that all changes today with this tournament. Today we have 2v2 back. And not only that, but there might be a special guest from LeBron James. That's all coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Till a player on top, know it. Rooftop, penthouse, sweet. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already, emotional work and devotion. We put in this time, look. You won't stop.
Greetings everyone, I am Mini, joined alongside Cashman and Juicy J in the back. Cashman, it's a pleasure to be back by your side to give you guys some great action today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, and I cannot be more excited because 2v2 is back in the competitive scene, and it's been so long since it's been in the competitive scene where I'm excited to see what happens with one thing in particular, and that thing is evolutions. How will evolutions affect the 2v2? Because not only can you play double Royal Giant evolution, but you can mix them up. You can play an evolution mortar with an evolution firecracker. This is something we've never seen in Clash Royale in the arena. How do you think it will affect this tournament?
It's going to be a wild one for sure. We are not in 2020 anymore. CRL and 2v2 are long parted partners. But I'm very interested to see the combinations. We're going to have a lot of Royal Giant, maybe with some Mortar, maybe we'll see some Barbarians comboed with that Evo Firecracker to protect at the bridge. Maybe we'll see some teams running the same evolution in both their decks. It's going to be great. It's been so long since we've had 2v2 on the competitive scene. I am excited, and one of the things in particular that excites me the most, think about our 2020 CRL 2v2 teams. We have Lucas X Gamer, who today is teaming up with Molite, and back then in Pain, Cashman, he used to share a team with Wallace. You know who Wallace is sharing a team with today?
It is Arden Toas, I think.
It is Arden Toas. So we have some switched up teams. Hopefully these two teams make it to the later rounds of the bracket. We're going to have some great competition today. I am excited. And after that, Cashman, you know, I think that I'm just going to get my win with predictions today as well.
Yeah, I was on a little cold streak, but if you do not want to miss any of this tournament, any of the future tournaments, all of the action, make sure you follow ESL Mobile on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And there is also a Discord mini. What's the Discord about?
For those of you that do want to take place in tournaments like these, maybe you'll be playing in our next Snapdragon Pro Series, go ahead and join the Discord. Make sure to get in on the action. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short video.
Yeah, I don't think we have a video. I think that comes later. It's all good. I want to talk about one thing you said, though. One thing that really just kind of sparked something. You said that Lucas is teaming up with Mohamed Light, the best player in the world, the king of Clash Royale, the man who's dominated all these tournaments in the past, is teaming up with arguably the second best player in Clash Royale currently. That seems illegal. That doesn't feel fair. Mini, is this tournament done before it even starts? How do other teams even compete?
I mean, any tournament that Molite competes in one-on-one is already seems like an insurmountable task. This time, it's going to be interesting because I think I would prefer to go up against Molet in the 2v2 scenario, just because he may be the one to play properly, but his partner may not. But let's go ahead and take a look at our prize pool, see how this cash is going to be broken down for our teams today.
And it is a lot of money because each place you see at number 1, it's 1,400, but that's for each of the players. So a total prize pool of 2,800 for the winning team, going to 1,000 for second, 700 for third, 500 for fourth, and 350 for fifth and eighth. And I know we mentioned this in the past, but the first round, all you have to do is win one set and you are in the money. So that first round matters so much in this tournament. And I don't exactly know what 2v2, is it going to be able to, we've seen players dominate in 1v1. That's the mode they play. That's the mode they love. I don't know if necessarily skill alone is going to translate to success in this tournament.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a weird thing to see after being out of it for so long. But when you play 2v2, you have to keep in mind chemistry, communication, deck building, what combos are going to work. Are we going to see some of those resurging decks from the 2020 metas come back, maybe with some evolutions mixed in? Giant Skeleton Death Bomb has been nerfed since then. There's a lot of changes, but I'm very interested to see how all these players and coaches are going to be able to make these decks and gameplay work out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with these teams because we talked about how important the team element is. It's not about being the best at Clash Royale. You have to work with a teammate. And if you haven't put in the practice and if you're not on the same wavelength, one mistake is going to be the difference between winning and losing. So not only do you have to practice, but you also have to be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like your teammate, you can't feud with your teammate. If there starts being a little bit of a chemistry issue, well, your team's going to break. You're going to lose before you even get into a game potentially. And I would love to see the behind the scenes. I would love to see, because all these players want to win, but what if you lose? Are the teammates going to blame each other? Are they going to take blame themselves? Or are they just going to work together and say, hey, we win as a team, we lose as a team, let's keep going? And I think that is going to be crucial if you want to succeed in this. You got to just throw your emotions away. You got to throw your ego away. You have to focus on just winning, but winning together. And oh, looking at this bracket, there's going to be some heavy hitters for teams. We already talked about how good the Muhammad Light and Lucas team is, but there's also a lot of players that are kind of leaning into the whole being in the same nationality, where we're looking at Mancos, for example, with Wallace and Arden Toas, two Brazilian players that are really good at the game. Is it going to be able to translate? I don't know. Is there another team? Is there another team that's standing out to you at all, Mini, here?
The SK and MKers team of Dominic and OP Sam, definitely one to watch. They did win our first qualifier. And it's interesting to me because they're both German but represent different teams. So the synergy is there. The teamwork is there. So that's definitely one team that's going to be standing out for me. But Catchman, is that an NBA superstar that we have in the second bracket lineup today?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Is that the LeBron James? What is he doing here? Why is he in this tournament? Has he officially retired from NBA? He has had a lot of success in the NBA, multiple championships, multiple MVPs, multiple finals MVPs. But wait a second. There's a little bit of an open space that needs to be filled on his resume. It looks like the one thing he is missing is a Clash Royale title. Is today the day LeBron James achieves that? The only blunder on his resume? It could happen, Minnie.
You know, when you have so much superstardom and you have that empty slot in the trophy room, it's something you really, really want to get. It's going to be great to see him making his Clash Royale debut today after being in the league for 20 years. Eventually, you just get tired of dribbling a basketball and just want to pick up your phone.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta you play a sport for so long, you have supremacy in that sport, and then you decide, you know what, I want to take my talents elsewhere. I want to take it to the real sport, Clash Royale. Not only just Clash Royale, but 2v2 as well.
I think Mo should take from LeBron James and switch to a different sport so that we don't have to see him dominating this one for so long.
Yeah, it's gonna be It's going to be very exciting because Mohamed Light, we've already seen him in the past. He's been so dominating. But can he beat LeBron James? Well, looking back at the past, he's had a lot of success. Looking back at all the games that we've seen the 1v1 tournament. He had a lot of success, but also a lot of other players had success as well. And then if we look at the Mega Draft tournament, we said to ourselves, wait a second, Mohamed Light, it's a different mode. Maybe a mode that he's not comfortable with. Maybe this is when he is going to fail. Maybe this is when someone else is going to win. Many, that was not the case.
It is seldom the case, Caspin. No, just doing the best job every time. So consistent, so unstoppable, it seems. But this time, he does have the added threat of having to carry Lucas on his back. So maybe we'll see a little bit of vulnerability from our world champion today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the amount of times we've said, hey, this could get Mohamed Light out of his comfort zone. And every single time we said that, it has not happened. He has always been able to adapt on the fly. But exactly that. He has always been able to adapt on the fly. It's not all about him today. It's about him and his teammates. So what is going to happen? Is there going to be another maybe? Are we going to see like another barrier that Mohamed Light has to overcome today? Because if he does, I know he's already the GOAT. But winning in 2v2, it's different. It is truly a different game, and I'm excited to see if he's able to do it again. The triple.
Yeah, I would, I know you comment on this stacked team. I would have loved to see Mo win with, I don't know, with you, Cashman, because now it just seems a little bit unfair. You've got the best player in the world, and then you have a top player in Lucas. So it doesn't feel like it's too disadvantageous to Mo, but he is going to be looking to prove himself today in our 2v2 situation. And I'm interested to see what type of decks these players will run because they are both traditional cycle miner players.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because there are no bans. There are no restrictions with playing a card again and again. You could technically find the best deck in the meta or a deck that you feel is the best and just keep playing it. And you said they're both cycle-oriented players. So looking at what's the best cycle deck right now, Hoggy Q comes to mind, maybe Goblin Drill, Wall Breakers, Miner Control decks. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that deck come out early, come out hot, but then players are going to have to figure out a way, okay, so this deck's good. What's a deck that can beat it? And we might see this meta shift while we're watching today, where a deck's dominant and then a new deck emerges because it's better than that deck. And then a new deck beats that deck, so that becomes the dominant deck. So it's going to be interesting to see how the meta is going to shift in this tournament alone today, in these next few hours.
Critical thinking and deck building are really huge in the middle of these sets. As you mentioned, if you're a team, you go up against the other team and they run a really solid deck, maybe you copy it, maybe you try to build against it. And what does your opponent do? Do they try to switch it up and counter that, or do they just stick with the same deck? Regardless, let's take a look at our first matchup of the day. We got 3 Brazilians out of 4 in this matchup. It's gonna be great. We have Team Mancos versus Cal Penguinos.
Yeah, these are both these are two teams that I could see making it to the finals. And not only that, but also winning the finals. But only one team will move on. Only one team will get to the next round, and only one team will get to the money. And I think that team is going to be the team that practiced before this, practiced 2v2, because we already said that all these players play hours of 1v1. But if you did not put in the practice, if you did not learn how to play 2v2 with your partner, I just don't see any world where skill is going to overcome just team chemistry in this format. And I think it's going to be very evident as well with one specific aspect, and that is the spell usage or even defending. If we see over defense or over attacks, that means there's a lack of communication. That means both players are trying to play their game, but they're not working together. They're working individual, and you got to work as a team in this. So we might see it quick. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm not giving them enough benefit of the doubt.
I completely agree. Communication is pivotal in this game mode. You definitely don't want to be defending a log with 2 goblin barrels, especially if your opposing team has 2 goblin barrels, because then you won't have a log. So you really have to be talking ahead in order to get ahead of this one.
Yeah, it's I've been there in 2v2. I've done that in 2v2. One time you do it, it might be okay. You might not lose the game, but if you do it multiple times in a game, that elixir deficit, it's hard to come back from. It's really, really, really hard to come back from. And not only that, we always talk about if you make a mistake, getting over, well, we usually call it tilt. You start tilting a little bit, but now there's 2 players on your team that can tilt. So that means there's exponentially more tilt. And oh my gosh, we have the predictions. This is my redemption day. Coming out of the gate, we have Mancos, everybody? Did you guys copy me? Did you see my prediction? Did you see it? Did you guys, is this what's going on? You saw my success last time and you were like, hey, let's just copy Cashman.
You know what? I'm not going to sit here and let you accuse me of things that are clearly true. So, let's just, come on now.
I can't even say it with a straight face. You know what? I'm changing it. I'm changing my vote. I'm not going Mancos anymore. I'm changing it. I'm going team Penguins? Penguinos? How's that pronounced? It's Portuguese.
Penguinos.
My Portuguese is a little rough these days.
Rusty.
Yeah, not the best. So I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna go with Pangos instead because you know what? When the crowd zigs, Cashman zags, and today I'm zagging.
Zach, we'll see how your predictions turn out today. Got a lot of exciting matchups lined up. I know we're talking about predictions in our first matchup today, but do you have any dark horse pick throughout the competition that really stands out to you?
It's hard to not, if we're talking about betting against Muhammad Light and betting against Lucas, it's hard to bet against them. But LeBron James is here. We're not talking about LeBron James enough. If LeBron James, actually, I don't really like LeBron James. I'm not a big LeBron James fan. So you know what? I'm gonna zag again. Everybody's like, hey, I want Team LeBron James. I'm gonna zag again. I'm going against Team LeBron James. I'm predicting that he's gonna be out in the first round. That's a bold prediction. He hasn't had a losing career in a long time. I think today's the day. Other than that, there's a lot of teams that have like players that, for example, the team Penguinos, where they have Pedro, who I know is a dominant a 1v1 player, and then Sub, who's had kind of ups and downs. You've seen him succeed, you've seen him maybe fall a little short, and there's a lot of teams like that where they have one player that you're like, this guy can go all the way, and you have another player where it's like, if he's on his day, he could go all the way. And I don't know how the team element is going to, is it like, are the best players going to make players play better, or are the maybe not as consistent players, are they going to bring the best players down? I just don't know how 2v2 works because we haven't seen it in 4 years.
It's been a long time coming, but one thing that may be in your favor, Cashman, is that Pedro and Sup were both recently in a live event. So that chemistry and that communication may just be higher than a lot of the other teams that we have today.
Yeah, that live personnel, that will definitely add to it. And also just having fun, being able to make some jokes, having those inside jokes, all these little things, it's going to make a big difference in this tournament.
Yeah, you look at Mohamed Light, every time he's playing on camera, he's always laughing and smiling throughout the game. Intense defense determined by the minimal interaction. Giggle, rinse, and repeat. It's what he does best. And with Lucas alongside him, he's got a lot of teams to go through. In terms of the competition, I think that in this bracket today, the stakes and the competition are perfectly high. There's no easy rounds. Every team is looking to win. I believe every team has a little bit of that energy, that giggle, that having fun with it. It is 2v2 after all, one of the more exciting game modes in the game.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think with 2v2, it's all about having fun. I think you have to have fun with it because once it starts becoming the opposite, once you start getting angry, once you start getting emotional, well, that's just going to transfer over to your teammate and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse before it gets better. So if something happens, if a misplay happens, like you said, you got to be like my light, giggle, laugh it off, and just keep going. Keep playing the game that you know how to play. Playing it with a teammate, it's going to be hard. It's still, I keep repeating that how difficult it is playing 1v1 by yourself compared to 2v2 with someone else, because it's not about you. It's not about your opponents. It's about you and your teammate. I just don't know. Is there any tips, do you think? Is there any tips for 2v2 players out there? Like, what's a way to, is it communication? Because in the past, we've seen some players that were just so linked together, like OP Sam and Morden. When they played together, they didn't talk at all. And then we saw other players that were constantly talking, or it was more one player being the director, being like, hey, we're going in now. We're going to play defense now. Hey, play your spell here. I'm playing this Goblin Barrel over here, so you play your Goblin Barrel over there. What's the best option out of those three?
Fundamentally, for 2v2, if you are looking to improve with a friend of yours or a teammate or whatever the case may be, communication is the foundation. Once you get communication down, I'll defend this, you defend that. I'll put this, you put that. I'll go in the skeleton barrel, you time your goblin barrel to land when my skeleton barrel's crossing the river. When you get all those combos, all those synergies, everything seems to start to click together. It's one thing to be directing your partner. It's one thing to be taking too much control. You want to make it so both of you are key pieces in this victory. So it's gonna be interesting to see who plays which role. Maybe we'll see some notable patterns of one player following the other player's pursuits throughout the games. And yeah.
Okay, it sounds like that we have a little bit of a technical difficulty, so we're going to be going on a short break, so don't go anywhere, because right after that, the action's starting up. Don't go anywhere. We are back. The early bird gets the worm, and no one said there was 3 more minutes still, but no, we want to watch the gameplay now, and we're going to be getting right into that gameplay right this second. 2v2 action already on its way, and oh my gosh, Minnie, what is going on?
You know, I think what happened is that the time went twice as fast, so now we have to be ready for that for future games. But it looks like both King Towers are activated. Double Evo Firecrackers on both ends of the boards. I am in love with what I'm seeing in this matchup.
The deck construction is so similar, so already we're seeing a meta form, and it looks like that meta is Evo Firecracker, comboing it with the drill, comboing it with the miner. We've seen how strong it is, and right now it looks like the damage is coming in, and it is coming in quick. These miners are getting damaged, the spells are getting damaged, the goblin drill is getting damaged. I'm excited to see what happens when this Evo Firecracker comes out, and you see it coming out for Pedro and Sub. Is it going to be able to do anything? It does get on tower, a little bit of damage, but not as much. Okay, no, that's a lot of damage, Minnie.
What a tornado to pull the Firecracker in front of the tower and get that splash. I love that Wallace and Arden Toast rocking miner and drill, making it so difficult for Pedro and Sub to defend. That Firecracker did get that shot off, very precarious situation, and the prediction at the bridge for the Evo.
There is so much stuff going on right now. There's spells coming in on both sides, but it looks like Wallace and Ardentoas have this one locked up, and there it is, double poison. That's a lot of damage. Interesting first game, because we already see a little bit of a cohesion to both the players. Yes, one team used the Phoenix, and it was a little slower of a cycle. The other team used more of a faster cycle deck. It's going to be, so what do you do right now? If you just lost the game, do you pivot a little bit, changing 1 or 2 cards? Or do you pivot a lot and just totally change the deck, trying to counter Evo Firecracker? But how do you counter Evo Firecracker?
That's been the question since the release. But it's going to be interesting to see. Looking at the replay, that was a beautiful tornado from Sub to pull that firecracker into the range. And then we just saw the double poison take the game from Wallace and Arden Toas. Honestly, looking at decks like these, Cashman, it doesn't look like an Evo Royal Giant would stack up the best against those long-range firecrackers and the building in the middle. But you never know, you know, maybe your opponents will switch up the decks and you can get a favorable matchup with that RG pick. And one of the things that interests me the most is how these players are going to combo the drills and the miners to find the best synergy, because on top we saw a miner and a drill, and on the bottom we saw double drill. Will we see double miner later? Will we see double drill overtake? Or will we see a mix of both of them come out on top?
Yeah, it's interesting looking at the stats because Wallace and Arden won, but they had the heavier deck. When you think of getting maximum value from your Evo Firecracker, you think of playing a cycle deck, something like Pedro and Sub, trying to be able to play as many firecrackers as possible, because we see the Evo Firecracker every single time it's played, it gets value. But it wasn't the case here. It was actually the opposite. It looks like there are still some cards that you can rely on. Yes, all the Evos get all the attention, but there are some valuable cards. So pivoting, we already see the Monk come out, which we didn't see last game. We saw Mighty Miner both times, and Lightning. So it is going to be Royal Giant like you predicted on the bottom, right?
Yep, 100% with that Monk, gonna be a combo. On top, it looks like we are gonna be seeing that Miner Drill synergy again. Both players just opting to repeat. And I'm interested to see the spell on Pedro's side. Maybe it's gonna be a Fireball, or was he double Lightning? But we already see that Firecracker coming out from Wallace and those split Spear Goblins from Arden Toas.
Yeah, and probably a King Tower. No, doesn't get the King Tower activation because the Firecracker targeted onto the Monk. And I keep forgetting how valuable the King Tower activation is in 2v2. Because not only do you activate one tower, you have 2 towers. And it makes your defense that much easier. And is there going to be an opportunity for them to activate King Tower? I think both players will probably be able to. Actually, how does Wallace and Arden activate King Tower? Is there a way here? You could do something crazy against the Monk Reflection, but it's not really consistent. Oh, never mind. They have Tornado. What am I talking about? I forgot they had Tornado Mini.
There you go. You ask and you shall receive. King Tower activation coming out from Wallace. And one of the things in 2v2 that everybody has to keep in mind from 1v1, especially when you're not running Royal Giant, is that the Firecracker shot on the tower is going to be enough to activate both King Towers, because those 2 towers are closer together than they would be in a 1v1 scenario.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Okay, so I guess, yes, Evo Firecracker is amazing, but you are also running the risk of consistently activating your opponent's tower. But it's weird too, because you'd think that'd be a bigger deal than it is. You're using Miner, you're using Goblin Drill, but it hasn't really been an issue, at least for Wallace and Arden. Let's see how they defend here. They're going in with, this is the first Evo Royal Giant. Fisherman does pull the Mighty Miner, and it looks like this Royal Giant might be able to get on tower. It is very healthy. Do you double Tornado it now? What do you do here? Just use the DPS of the tower, the Spear Goblins, and the Phoenix. One shot comes in. And how do you like that defense, Mini? Because I think it could have been maybe a little better.
So very scrappy looking defense. We saw troops come down left and right due to the combination of spells from Sub and Pedro. We got another Evo RG, and this is what we were talking about. It is so menacing. You just defended one and now you're having to deal with another. What I do like from Wallace and Arden Toas is the Firecracker, but there's double Monks from Pedro and Sub to deal with that. So I love how they shifted the RGs not favoring so well against this Miner Firecracker to, you know what, let's put double Monks and see how this stands up against this deck.
Ooh, going with the Electro Dragon. I wonder what they were picking that for, because it looks like you said, every card in the deck has a purpose. Mother Witch is going to be really good against the Goblin Drills, the Spear Goblins. They have the Monk to reflect the Firecrackers. Why the Electro Dragon of all things?
Electro Dragon's gonna always do a great job of crowd control when there's a lack of a Lightning. I guess the Electro Dragon is kind of a safeguard in case Wallace and Arden Toas switched up their decks and played an RG. This is a huge connection on the left-hand side of that. Firecracker gets the majority of the shots. Double Poison is gonna take it. That's it. Cashman is 0-1 in predictions already.
Bingo! Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. When the crowd zigs, Master Cash, I zag. I'm the prediction master. Remember that name. That was a lot of damage at the end very quickly. We saw a little combo coming in where we saw the drill come in, we saw the tornado come in, we saw the golden knight dash, and then also the firecracker getting on tower. And that wasn't even an Evo firecracker. Over 1,000 damage. And then also, one thing is with the spells. Spell cycling is going to maybe be a viable strategy in this tournament. Is there a world where instead of going with a win condition, you maybe, I guess you could go with a minor, but you focus just on that, spells, poisons? We see, how much damage was that? 400 damage with spells alone. 400 damage. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, in 2v2, the spell cycles to close out a game can really rack up damage. You take a look at just the spells from Wallace, he's rocking 3, Arden rocking 2. So when you get into those situations, especially when you're playing RG decks like Pedro and Sub are playing, they get the tower down to 500 to 600 damage. Okay, you lightning, I'll fireball, you log, and I'll cycle back to my fireball to be able to take the game. Spell damage can really rack it up in this mode.
I also forgot that this is the first time we're seeing champions in 2v2 competitive and seeing the combination of champions. That could get interesting. Is there a world where, like, I'm trying to think of, like, does Monk combo well with another champion? Is there a world where you can use the Monk, use its ability, use the Archer Queen behind it? Once the Monk's done, pop the ability, goes crazy. This is getting interesting because now there's layers. Not only are we looking at the team layer, not only are we looking at the evolution layer, we're looking at the champion layer. And we've seen a lot of players. Whoa, LeBron James, 2 O's, no hands. That was quick.
That was a dunk on no hands. LeBron James
I see what you did there.
Sweeping the first rounds into the quarterfinals of our bracket. We also see our Polish team moving on, and my pick, the German sensations, OP Sam and Dominic in SK and MCRS, moving on past their opponents in round 1. And on our lower side of the bracket, Cashman, any upsets, any expectations completed?
I'm really liking what Mancos did in the first game, but I want to see more gameplay from other teams before I make anything too bold of a prediction, because there's a lot of names that are really talented, that are really good in Clash Royale, but I want to see it in 2v2. This is a different mode, and we're looking at Mo and Lucas. They're up 1-0, but maybe they're struggling a little bit. Maybe they're playing decks that are a little bit slower, because we see a lot of teams already 2-0. And why have they not? What is going on? Are they struggling maybe in 2v2? Maybe it was just a little bit of a technical issue. Maybe they went into the game late. But that's something that's perplexing to me. Maybe they're not as strong. Okay, they're probably going to be strong. If they do go through, though, that match is going to be ridiculous.
Yep. Well, that has been our first matchup of the day. We'll be right back into the action of our quarterfinals right after this break, everyone.
We're back.
We're back. We're back for our quarterfinals matchups, Cashman. You know what time it is.
It's the money time. It's the money dance. Do we do a little money dance now? Because that means everybody right now that qualified in this round. That's in. No, you don't want to do the money dance? No, that's what. No money dance. Okay,
it's LeBron James time.
Well, congratulations everybody that made it to the quarterfinals because they are going home with money. But they don't care about winning the quarterfinals. No. These teams want to win it all. And if we're looking at this bracket, we have... Oh, no, we're going right into the game. We're going with the Polish team versus LeBron James. Oh, no, I forgot he made it through. Ugh, I can't get rid of him. I have to watch him in the NBA, and I have to watch him in Clash Royale. Leave me alone.
I'm interested to see another dunk, another 2-0. I'm on the LeBron James train today. I want LeBron James to take this cup home.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do it. He's talented. We know he's talented, but is he talented enough? I'm going with the Polish team. I'm going with Polish. Thrill and Titan, two players that are talented on their own. Are they going to be talented together? I think so. At the top, we have, wow, look at that. A little fire. Okay, we're seeing Evo Firecracker, but now we're seeing a little bit more maybe a little bit more bait with the Skeleton King and also the Skeleton Barrel. Oh, I just thought of a cool combo. Is there a world where Monk tanking for the Skeleton King and then popping the ability? Is there something there, or am I just making mountains out of molehills?
Oh, there is something there for sure. The combinations in this mode are endless. I love, however, that we're seeing a variation in decks. Now we're seeing some bait, and now we're seeing some Lava Hound from LeBron James.
Yeah, and it sucks to see when you go Lava Hound and you see that Inferno Tower, you always get a little bit of a, it had to be. Why couldn't they use Bomb Tower? And we saw a lot of damage on this left side already from that Skeleton King. And maybe, no, it doesn't look like the Dark Goblin's going to get the lock. We're looking at this game going into double and triple elixir for Soki and Bob the Rock, LeBron James to really excel. Ooh, going a little bit aggressive at the bridge on the right side, though. Fireball comes in. Flying Machine locked on tower. Uh-oh.
LeBron James! LeBron James is on tower!
Splash! Do you want to use your famous catchphrase? They just dunked it. That tower dunked on.
Oh, tower down on the left-hand side to 1,000. Goblin Barrel can be completely tamed from LBJ.
Wow. So I guess they're thinking of, okay, well, we've taken a lot of damage. We've done a lot of damage to the left side and the right side. There's still 1 minute and 12 seconds left. So now they're thinking, okay, let's just give them a little bit of damage, because not only are we going to take that tower, but maybe they can get a bit of a lead going into a 2-tower situation. And the longer this game goes on, I think LeBron James has this. I didn't love the deck selection originally, but that Rage spell is really interesting to me. Like the Rage, usually you see it comboed with a balloon. Is that maybe the last card for one of them? Has to have a balloon, right? One of them has to.
Definitely gotta be the case, or unless they're both just rocking Lava Loon Miner, which would be weird. There is a balloon. That Evo Firecracker switches lane, which is huge. Does lock onto the tower, gets arrowed down, but does get the splash. Skeleton's not gonna make it. Dark Goblin on the left-hand side gets Fireball down. NATO towards the middle, bring everything in. Flying Machine does lock onto the tower. We got a 1-in-1 situation, Cash.
Yeah, and this looks really favorable for LeBron James. Right now, they do have a decent amount of elixir. Also, they have an elixir lead, but also units on the field still in the arena. So they're setting up. As long as they can defend this, I don't know how they lose this game unless there's a big mistake. Oh, Mighty Miner doesn't get the lock on tower. That's good. Fireball comes in. Goblins are going to get a decent amount of damage here. Arrows come in for the Firecracker. Barbarians in the pocket. Evo Barbarians in the pocket. Tornado to pull them all together. Can you get maybe... No, there's not a lot of elixir from LeBron James. So Miner gets on tower. Oh, never mind. It's not about the elixir. It's about that Barbarian on tower. Raged up. That tower's going down. LeBron James, what did he just do? What did he just do, Minnie?
He just dunked on that second tower, Cash. 1-0 on the scoreboard for the NBA superstar. This Soki Bob the Rock LBJ team, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's a posterized. You're gonna see that on a poster soon, because it seemed easy. I thought this was gonna be a matchup where LeBron James would struggle in single elixir, but in double elixir, that's when we see this deck excel. No. It excelled in single elixir, it excelled in double elixir, and it excelled in triple elixir as well. Actually, I don't even think we got to triple elixir, because that tower, it went down. What do you do, though? What do you do to counter this Lava Loon deck? Because Titan and in Thrill, they had some counters. Maybe you add in a Phoenix. Maybe you add in an Inferno Dragon. Maybe, I don't know, like, do you change the entire deck or do you just make a couple of tweaks, Mini?
Listen, I just want to give some props to Titan and Inthril for this deck selection, but here's where I think it went wrong. Bob the Rock, Soki, both beat down players. They can play this Lava Hound, they can play RG, they could come out with some Golem or some E-Giant for 2v2. I think the problem that Titan and Inthril made was you saw those Evo Barbs, you saw that Firecracker. I think they had to pick one route and counter it efficiently. This time they try to have one player rock the Evo Barbs while the other one rocked the Evo Firecracker. Maybe 2 Evo Firecrackers would have been the difference maker. Let's see how they adjust in game 2 after already seeing what Bob the Rock and Soki had in store.
It looks like Bob the Rock is, oh my gosh, did they just switch decks? Did they just switch decks? Are we seeing a little Firecracker bait on the bottom for LeBron, and now we're seeing Lava Hound at the top? If history repeats itself, we know what happens.
We do, and we already see a miscommunication from Inthril and Titan with that Inferno Dragon being placed in front of that Lava Hound. Miner being placed on the right-hand side, but a tanking Flying Machine putting in work on that Phoenix. Fisherman pull into the middle, and that Phoenix is not going to be high enough to lock on to the Flying Machine.
Yeah, this can become an issue. I love the addition of Phoenix in their deck, but I don't know if Phoenix, Firecracker, and Spear Goblins. I really hope they also brought the Inferno Tower, because if they have all that, they might be okay. But right now, they got to start taking advantage of single elixir. They got to deal damage. They got to get this damage lead. And right now, it's what? They're up by 400 HP. Is that going to be enough? I want to see a lot of aggression coming out of LeBron James. I want to see a fourth quarter LeBron James, but right now, in the first quarter. And, ooh, great defense by Soki and Bob the Rock there. It seemed very easy, very clean, but also no mistakes. And that's why I like to see in 2v2. I don't want to see mistakes. I don't want to see something like the Inferno Dragon in front of the Lava Hound. Ooh.
That's a very smart tornado to keep that Firecracker alive. Job done successfully. Firecracker will get the shot on tower unless countered. But yes, very clean defense from Soki and Bob the Rock to start. I am expecting an Inferno Tower. It makes sense because they did just also play a Lava Hound deck. Maybe they're like, you know what? I think they're going to copy our deck. Let's go ahead and go the counter route. They're doing a great job at pressuring so far, and they really haven't taken any major damage on their towers.
Yeah, this is where I get scared though, because now that we're in ×2 elixir, that tower on the right side, it's still relatively healthy, 1,367, but also King Tower is now activated. So this is Titan and Inthrill's time to put the pedal to the metal. And this Evolution Firecracker on defense was amazing. Fisherman's gonna pull the Mighty Miner. Miner on tower getting a couple of hits, but we're already seeing Inthril and Titan set up this Lava Hound push on the right side. Do you just, what about this Evo Firecracker on the left side? What do you think? Oh, it's getting on tower, Mini. Wait, what?
Oh my god, for 2 shots, and that is just a lack of awareness from Inthril and Titan. We saw this in our last broadcast with Vitor making this mistake where the Firecracker from the other, or I believe it was Captain, where the Firecracker from the other lane targeted the bomb tower in the middle and splashed onto the opposite tower. And we just seen that here. Pedal to the metal, like you said, all of the elixir being thrown at the bridge, but it does not look like it's gonna be enough. And you know what that means, Cashman? You know what that means?
Oh, say it, say it.
Slam dunk from LeBron James. Pull out the broom in round 2. He moves on to our semifinals. Hey, LeBron James is cruising.
He looked very good in that match, and it looked like both the players were on the same page. We didn't see any mistakes, but we also saw clean defenses, but also the offenses seemed to be in rhythm. They were 1 2 3 1 2 3. They were going together. That mistake though, look at that Firecracker, how much damage it gets on that right side tower. That is insane. We saw it already dominate on defense on the left side. If that replay was a little bit longer, it's Evo Firecracker. What I got from it is it's good. Does it need a nerf? Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe a little bit too much damage to towers.
It's just so difficult to take care of. You need a fireball at least to take care of it on the other side of the arena, or a monk reflection that even the monk reflection itself doesn't take care of her.
Titan didn't use an evolution, Mini.
No, that, you see, I understand it's a lava hound deck, and you know, putting in an evolution may have been kind of awkward, but I would have loved to see maybe some skeletons recycle, or maybe we use a mortar instead of the goblin cage. Just something that's gonna give you an advantage. It's not like the evolutions are just to have fun. They provide advantages, so use them.
Yeah, it's weird. I guess like I was like they could use skeletons or mortar. It's like because double barbs, is that too much? Like if barbs are good, why not just double down and use more barbs? I don't know. That's interesting, but they also they failed. I'm on team. If there's champions, use champions. If you can add one to your deck, put it in your deck immediately better. And I think Evos are the exact same way, maybe even more. So we'll see in the future, though, if we see that trend. I'm going to guess we're going to see firecrackers. I'm going to guess we're going to see some more barbs. Where are the skeletons? We'll find out soon, right after this break.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what it's meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
Welcome back and welcome to Juicy J. Hello, Juicy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Watching these 2v2s is always a blast. 2v2 one of my favorite game modes to cast over because there's just so much skill involved. There's so much communication. Matchups really don't matter that much. As we've seen with the first two matches, it's all about who's playing better, who's communicating better, who's not making all those mistakes with the double defenses. That's who's winning so far, and I'm excited to continue to watch that.
Yeah, is there anything that stood out specifically with the decks that we've seen so far? Is there anything that you saw that maybe could continue, or maybe something that you were surprised to even see?
I mean, the evolutions are crazy. You guys talked about the evolved Firecracker just destroying everything. The evil Barbs in the pocket that one time got so much value. Even the double, I feel like double mortars could be something that we see here in the future. Imagine a mortar on each side, evolved versions, goblins everywhere. It can get pretty crazy.
Yeah, I did. That's one card I'm surprised we haven't seen was the mortar, because I always look at the mortar as being good. But maybe in 2v2, with all the spells that we see in the decks, maybe there's just too many counters. One thing's for sure. Oh, we all bet on the same person. We're all going Muhammad Light and Lucas. Who saw that? Am I switching? Am I doing it? Am I going to do it?
No, don't switch it this time. You don't want to lose this one.
I believe. You know what? I'm switching it. I'm changing my vote to SK. We're going with Faust, and we're going with, who is it, Doom? Those are two good players. What are we talking about? Those are two really good players.
I mean, that's a great point, but we're talking about Muhammad Light and Lucas X Gamer, two of the top best players in the world right now. I have not seen them play 2v2. You guys talked earlier about how their communication might be a little off. Maybe both want to be the shot caller in the match. We'll see how it goes. I definitely, it's hard to bet against them. Right?
It's official. Let's go. Muhammad Light and Lucas, you guys stink. Come on, give me this. I don't feel confident with this. Do I get 2 points if I get this right? I should get 2 points.
Yeah, that's totally fair, honestly. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen Mo Light play 2v2. We're hopping straight into it. Perfect. I'm excited to see what's going on here.
It's so weird seeing Muhammad Light and Lucas on a team. You see them play against each other in competition so much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Coming out quick with Lava Hounds. Are we getting Lava Hounds on both sides?
In front of Dragon back to counter this one. Would not be surprised to see Dominic's team running Lava Hounds. Dominic, one of the best lava players in the world. Muhammad Light and Lucas maybe saying, okay, I know you're going to play lava. I'm going to play lava better and kind of just get the mental game here.
Yeah, there was a couple of things that I noticed from the past lava decks that we saw. We saw, well, one person use Evo Barbs and the other team, the other player on the team not even use an evolution. And then also Rage was used as well instead of a small spell, comboing with the Barbs, comboing with the Balloon. What do you expect? Like, what do you think of like the Lava Hound decks right now that we're seeing? Because they're very untraditional, but they actually kind of work. Like this is that play to me seems crazy.
Yeah, Lava Balloon at the bridge. The defense is great with the Inferno Drag and the arrows. Barb's Ops lane was wild as well. Arrows gonna clean up the counter push of that defense. Arrows out again from Faust and Dominic, but the Inferno Drag's locking on the tower right now.
Oh, needs to use a fireball too. So takes out the Phoenix, is able to mitigate most of the damage. Minor, get out of the way. I can't see the HP. Minor, what are you still doing there? Thwacking away. 1,906. So Lucas and Mo are behind right now. But we're gonna, I always find like with Lava Hound matches, it comes down to one mistake. One Inferno Dragon locking on, one misspell on a Balloon, allowing, I don't know, even Skeleton Dragon, since the buff, they can deal a lot of damage and they have a sneaky amount of HP. So I don't think this is gonna be a game where one tower goes down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see all the towers on one team go down in this matchup.
Oh, absolutely right. Here comes a big push. Barbs, Loon at the bridge, trying to cycle back to the Evo Barbs. Rage going to drop down, try and get that Balloon to the tower. Only death damage going to break through, and a lava and back. This is some crazy stuff all around. There's going to be a dual lane lava push. Who's going to be successful in their push here, though?
Yeah, I'm looking at Dominic's deck, and does he have a Lava Hound as his last card? Because we haven't seen it played yet, and that's surprising. Maybe just waiting till we're in double elixir. Why not try to do the double lava push? Because we haven't seen it yet, and those double Lava Hound pushes are hard to deal with. Or maybe it's just because all the defensive tools, if you can defend with one, if you can defend one Lava Hound, you can usually defend two. Tower on the right side does go down, and it looks like Muhammad Light and Lucas are going to be able to defend this left side tower. Balloon coming in, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, I just want to quickly talk about what happened there on the left side. where the defense was so good for Muhammad Light and Lucas there. They played the cage of the bridge. If you can get a replay, that would be nice. But the cage of the bridge made it so the balloon went in front of the lava hound, made the defense so easy. And the double miner coming out from Lucas and Mo just shredded that tower down. I think they were too aggressive left inside. There's that cage blocking that lava. Loon goes in front, and the Inferno shreds both. And the defense on the right was not perfect. The miner didn't get that much value. And then a double miner on the back of the tower just cleaned it up. Lightning on offense is just not enough to break through, and the game was over.
Yeah, I think you're right about it's just it all came down to the defense, because that Inferno Dragon, I guess we're seeing they're very similar decks. Like there wasn't anything like I think that just comes down to just how they played. The deck wise, like they're very similar decks. There's nothing I look at in Muhammad Light and Lucas's deck and I was like, that's why they won. That's the card that won them the game. Sure, both of them used Evo Barbarians, but I didn't think Evo Barbarians was the reason they won. I think it was just their gameplay, their defense, their offense.
That's what I've been saying. That's what 2v2 is all about. Who's going to play better? Who's going to communicate better? Who's going to make those decisions? And Lucas Mo just making better plays in general. Going to take a very convincing W there. I think the biggest thing deck-wise that really differentiates everything there was maybe Dominic's deck wasn't properly synergizing with his teammates' deck there, because if you notice there, he played Lava Hound 0 times. His teammate was always playing the Lava Hound. So maybe there was a bit of dyssynergist kind of style in the decks there, which made it so that he was never able to get that lava down.
JJ, tell it to me truthfully. Am I in danger? Muhammad Light and Lucas looked really good.
I mean, I said it before, I say it again. You can't bet against the champ Mobile Light. I don't care what game mode it is. You never want to do that because that good. My guess is he's probably calling the shots, saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Lucas gonna go along with Mo, take that, collect his paycheck at the end.
Yeah, it's. I thought there maybe Muhammad Light was due for a loss. He's won so many times in a row. You can't keep this up forever, right? No.
You always say he's due for a loss, but it's just not gonna happen.
He's due. Yeah, they look good, and that's one thing I was curious to see, because you talked about the team aspect being so important in 2v2, and I think we got the answer. Muhammad Light and Lucas, they were pretty good as a team. At least just looking at the gameplay wise, it was clean. So the communication was there. We already know the gameplay is there. And now going into game number 2, who do we see pivot? Are we going to see... Okay, we're seeing Lava Hound from... Oh, we're seeing Lava both. Okay, wow. Just run it back. What do you think they...
Double lava.
Do you think they change anything in the deck to maybe make this a more favorable matchup?
I think if there's one thing that Dominic needs to change, is he needs to take that Lightning out. I don't think that Lightning gets that much value. What does get a lot of value is this Phoenix. Look at it wipe out the Flying Machine, and then Fisherman can be forced out to kite that away from the Skelly Drags. Fairly good defense from both players. Arrow's going to come out once again, and a Zap from Mo, a little early. No, I think it's fine.
Missing a puck too. There's one puck that it's not gonna matter. Light in Lucas. What am I saying? I was like, look at that mistake they made. No, it's not a mistake. It's fine. I'm just nitpicking at this point. I don't think this is gonna be a very aggressive game. I think this is gonna be a game where we're gonna see defense, and then just a little bit of damage from miners, a little bit of, okay, never mind, I lied. That lightning came in. Oh, what is this, JJ?
Yo, huge mistake. Double defense coming out with the Barb's Kite, and the berry on defense plus the arrows means very little value there. Now, as you can see, Dominic and Faust can take a massive damage lead here, up a bit of elixir as well.
That was aggressive. That's 10 elixir, and that was defended with 5 elixir. Weird play by Muhammad Light, weird play by Lucas, but maybe they're just trying to have some fun.
Honestly, I'm fascinated that they were able to survive that push after such a huge mistake. They are down about 1,000 damage, but anything can happen. Dominic and Faust gonna go for another lava push. Mo ready for another lava push as well. Maybe the lightning's better than I thought it was. That lightning just kind of forcing out a lot of elixir there.
Wow, big push on both sides. It's all about defense, though. I think this is too aggressive. This should be able to be defended relatively easily with the cage in the middle, Inferno Dragon on defense, and now this counter push scares me a little bit, but no, never mind. Lightning comes in and gets a ton of value. Lava Hound on defense here. Interesting. Balloon at the back. Miner on tower. It looks like Mohamed Light and Lucas have lost momentum, and they can't really get it back right now. Barbs at the bridge. Wait, it didn't work the first time, JJ. Why would it work now?
Evo Barbs still not able to break through that bomber. Here comes another Evo Barbs with a miner as well, kind of placed incorrectly, and the arrows just kill everything. You're right, they're not really getting that much value at all here. And now Dominic and Faust, they go for double lava at the bridge. They just need a little bit of chip and they can spell it out.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a change in playstyles from both these players. In the first game, we saw Mohamed Light and Lucas not really go offensive at all. And in this game, they're going for these Hail Mary, these uppercuts to knock out their opponent. They just haven't been able to get at 1 HP. Arrows come in. That's GG. That's well played. My pick, the dream is not over yet. There could be a comeback. Game number 3. Are we going to see a different deck, or are we just going to see Lava Hound for the rest of time?
That's a good question. I mean, who knows? I think another big thing to note there in the match, Dominic and Faust kind of took a page out of Mo and Lucas's book there, using the cage at the bridge once again to block. That kind of gave them the momentum to keep pressuring here after that big mistake after the barbs. We're 1-1. If we see another lava matchup, I would be actually very surprised. There's got to be some Evo Firecrackers coming out here in this last set.
Yeah, this is a weird, it feels like a game show almost. Like, do you know when there's like 2 doors and you get rid of a door and they're like, hey, do you stick or do you switch? And I don't know what the odds are. I remember watching like a Mythbusters thing on this and it was like, you
have to switch.
Stay. Or no, is it switch? Okay, but like,
switch.
Do you switch though? This feels bad to switch, because if you switch and actually, that's not bad. Even if you switch decks and your opponent switches decks, not the end of the world. And you know what? I like switching here. What's the problem with switching?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like, you're playing against the best lava player in the world, Dominic. One of the best lava players in the world. And yes, Mo and Lucas, they're great. They did today for that first game. I think going for a third match of a lava mirror, though, is kind of scary. But who knows? Maybe they're just going to play chicken and be like, no, I'm not going to switch. You're going to switch. No, I'm not. And they're just going to keep going. But they might end up just smashing their head against a brick wall.
Yeah, and if nobody switches, I feel very good about Doom and Faust. The way they played, it looked like they learned from that first matchup, and they're like, oh, we made a mistake. We thought we had to play it this way. No, we have to play it that way. And we saw them take control early on, playing aggressive early on, playing more Lava Hounds, getting more damage. And Mohamed Light, before Lucas and Mo knew it, they were behind, and they were going for some crazy plays, and those crazy plays did not work.
The other really nice thing I like about Dominic's deck is that bomber. That bomber,
I was going to mention that as well.
That is just dealing with the barbs so well. I think the whole deck as a whole kind of is an anti-evolution deck. You have the bomber for those barbs. They have arrows and fireball. They have double arrows and a fireball for the Evo Firecracker. And those are the 2 dominant ones. I guess there's the RG as well, but you have the Evo barbs for RG. That's the best counter.
And it's crazy to think, because the berry in the deck is swapped in instead of they're using berry instead of the Evo barbs. And you'd think, okay, Evo barbs, they're just better. But there are value with other cards. Evo cards are not the end all of end all. Some other cards that get value in certain situations, and that berry, it got a lot of value in that matchup. So is there a way where, I'm trying to think, is like you were talking about a weakness for this deck, because it sounds like they have all the bases covered. What's the weakness? What do you pivot to? Do you pivot to Firecracker Goblin Drill? Or do you pivot to maybe RG? It doesn't feel like RG's the way for these players today. At least that's what they think.
I would not be surprised to see Mo come out with the Inferno Tower with that drill deck that you said. I think the Inferno, obviously, they do have the lightning to deal with it, but Inferno with double Evo Firecrackers, with the miners, the poisons, or maybe drills and poisons, I think that can give you a much better chance to win this rather than go for a third mirror match in a row.
Yeah, and it's more their style too. Minnie mentioned it, where it's like, yeah, these are both cycle players. So are they going to play cycle? And there it is. There it is. We're going to see the wall breakers. We're going to see the Goblin Barrel. Are we going to see the Skeleton Barrel, the Skeleton King, the Evo Firecracker? Probably a little bit of A, a little bit of B. But what are we looking at for Faust and Doom here?
It's a good question. I think it's got to be an RG deck, right? Lumberjack synergizing so well with the RG to rage it up in the Evo form. Monk as well here, going to do a nice job of tanking for those RGs. Let's just hope that they do have a lightning. They're going to need one to break through that Inferno Tower.
JJ, I think you were right. Remember when we were talking about the door? Do you stick? Do you stay? And you said the best option, always switch. Well, we see both players switching, and ooh, Evo Barb's coming out in this deck, so it's not going to be double Firecracker.
Oh, that log. That log knocked back that Mighty Miner, stopping the charge, and happened to hit that Dark Goblin as well. But it doesn't work out for him.
Yeah, there's not that much out of this push. We have the Skeleton Barrel. It was just like very clean defense from Mo and Lucas, but I'm kind of scared. I think Mo and Lucas need to start dealing more damage, but if you look at the defenses for Doom and Faust, they have the Electro Spear, they have the arrows, they have the log. They have more than enough to deal with all these bait cards, all the win conditions of Mo and Lucas, and that scares me a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good call. The log, especially, just the best kind of the barrel. They do have double barrels. Maybe they outcycle in this situation. They decide to just eat the damage, and the wall break connects as well. That's actually huge. They need to make sure to get something out of this Giant Skelly RG push.
Yeah, do you even put the Monk in front of this? Or are we seeing double Monk from Faust and Doom? Or are we gonna just see one guy? I'm trying to think, could you go Skeleton King and Monk? I like the idea of switching up champions, but a lot of times we see players go with double champion, the same champion, and I don't exactly know why.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we should see a double swap up of the champions. We haven't seen Archer Queen yet today either. Maybe that's just because there's double the spells to deal with her though.
Yeah, maybe the Archer Queen isn't the way. Maybe you just, we know that Monk's really good. Ooh, Goblin Barrel coming in. Log in hand, though. But look how much damage the Goblin Barrel on the right side. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do not have enough because they have the Goblin Barrel to deal with. They have the Skeleton Barrel to deal with. They have another Goblin Barrel. They have Wall Breakers. Even saying it, it's a lot. So, yeah, maybe they don't have enough to deal with it. And this is going to be like a slow, a very Mo-like Lucas game where they just defend, and little bits of damage, little bit. And we know how dangerous the spells get in double and triple elixir. I don't know what you do if you're Doom or Faust.
Yeah, they're really struggling to defend, and that Inferno Tower, like I said, is just putting in the work. I don't know if they have the lightning to deal with it. This offlane pressure is always mounting as well. The Evo RG gets locked onto the Inferno, but the double Dark Goblin plus that ray of the beam is just going to shred everything down. They're just going to straight up give up.
Wow, it's weird because that push on the right side looked so threatening, but they didn't have any elixir to support it. We saw the Inferno Tower became the absolute MVP in that matchup. It was able to take out 2 Royal Giants, and one was evolved. That looked so easy, too easy. And I lost. I just realized that I lost. Why did I bet against Mo?
Don't bet against Mo. Honestly, I was a little bit scared myself when I saw that second game with the Lava Mirror matchup with the double defense, a bit of miscommunications there from Mo and Lucas, but in this game it was an absolute bloodbath. It almost seemed like they were both playing their own 1v1 game, just both targeting one side or the other. Each time they went in, there was a Goblin Barrel on one side, there was a Goblin Barrel on one side. Every time they defended, it seemed like there was a Goblin Barrel or a Dark Goblin on the left and a Dark Goblin on the right, and they kind of just used and combined their solo skills, put them together perfectly, and took a massive W.
That's a great point, because thinking back at watching that game, it didn't feel like you were watching 2 players play. It felt like there was just one player playing, which is terrifying. There was never a situation where you saw maybe a double barrel in the same spot giving a ton of log value. I wish you could see who plays whose card, because I want to see if you're right and they're just 2 guys just doing their own thing, or if there's a little bit more communication. Goblin Barrels going in, Dark Goblin by another person, spell supported by another person while defending the other lane really effectively like we saw. That scares me. I'm scared.
Yeah, and I think that is more what we're going to see today out of the best players here. We're going to see more of just really solid individual skills put together rather than that hyper crazy good teamwork, because these players just haven't had a lot of time to practice 2v2 or a lot of reasons to. This is the first really big 2v tournament in a long while.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens, but don't go anywhere because we'll see what happens right after this break.
Let's go.
We are back. Why am I saying this so long? JJ, me and you again. We're going into the next game, and 2v2. It's been around for a long time. We're looking at two players on Team Meow, Vitor and Surge, both players that have experience in 2v2. But that experience was from what? 4 years ago? Is it even gonna matter?
And their opponent is going to be, I believe, Platypus. No,
Arden and Wallace.
Yes, Arden and Wallace versus Surge and Vitor. It's honestly a powerhouse matchup. I mean, both of these players on both teams are fantastic. You did say Surge and Vitor have a bit of 2v2 experience in the past, which is why I chose them along with you. I gotta get a leg up on Mini here for this upcoming prediction. I think they're the only team that actually saw my friends as practicing 2v2 as well. So they've been putting in the work for this tourney.
Yeah, interesting. So wait, now that you're on my team, does that mean you're going to bet against Mo and Lucas in the next round?
Nope. No, I won't.
No. Thought I had you there for a second. Yeah, the practice is weird to me because when we talk about practicing 2v2, it's not like just practicing 1v1 where you have grand challenges and you have Path of Legends, or you can just play against other pro players. You really only have one option with 2v2s, and that's play against other pro players. I don't know. Does the practice translate to this success? I think it doesn't. I really think it doesn't. I don't think it will, because I think it just comes down to what we saw. You have to become a unit. You have to play together. We all know that these players are really good at 1v1. Does it really matter if you practice 2v2? Is it just practicing that chemistry? Because you're not actually practicing the meta. The meta already looks defined.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe the 2v2 practice doesn't translate as much as the 1v1 practice. But like you said, maybe just by getting some reps in, you're able to kind of, I don't know, sharpen that sword of the communication. And maybe that will give them a small edge over their opponents here.
Yeah, or maybe I'm just disrespecting them, and that practice actually made them achieve another level of skill in 2v2, and they're gonna. We've seen a pretty, I don't want to say like standard. Let's go with standard meta. We see Lovehound, we see Firecracker with the Goblin Drill, and we saw
the RG.
A bait. Yeah, we saw bait. Did we see RG? Oh yeah, we've seen RG as well today. So we have seen 4 decks. Is there a world where we see maybe Vitor and Surge pull out something a little off meta?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'd be interested to see that bait again, because now that I'm thinking about it, I think that bait deck that Mo and Lucas ran, they didn't even have any Evos in it, did they? They were not using the Evolved Firecracker. Maybe they think that, yes, Evolved Firecracker gets a lot of value, but maybe they think that the value that it provides is not overcoming that King Tower activation, because the King Tower activation gets so much value with the double towers versus the barrels.
Yeah, especially in that bait matchup. That's a good point. I wonder, no, there's not going to be a world where... Wait, we haven't seen 2 evolutions still. We haven't seen Mortar and Skeletons. What's your prediction? Are we going to see either of them before this tournament ends?
I would say we've got to, right? We're hopping straight into the game, and it doesn't look like we're going to see it now. No. Miner, Golden Knight, NATO at the top from Wallace and Arden, and Vitor starting off with the double drill with Surgical. What a super aggressive start. Golden Knight could connect as well here on the right.
Yeah, I love that Vitor and Surge already have this King Tower activation. It's going to help a lot against these miners. Let's see what happens, because we haven't seen Wallace and Arden use this style of deck yet. This like really... Wait, the Fisherman's kind of confusing me. Why is there a Fisherman in this deck? Is that just because they think it's good on defense? Because usually you see Fisherman, you think Royal Giant, but what, Royal Giant Miner? Is that a thing? Are we seeing Royal Giant at the top?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe this is a Royal Giant plus Miner deck. Vitor with the Skeleton King plus Goldeneye. We're seeing double champs that I know you've been wanting to see for so long.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Skeleton King does get a hit on tower on the right side. Royal Ghost against this Goblin Drill will be a perfect defense. We see the Miner coming in late just to help support this Phoenix. Gets turned into an egg. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a spell come in. No, just some skeletons to clean up. And this Royal Ghost does get picked up by the Goblin. So right now we're just seeing a slow game. Both players trying to feeling each other out. And I think if this is a Royal Giant deck, it's got to be... This Royal Giant deck is so confusing on the top because it looks like two different decks, two different meta decks we see on ladder, and they're just like, hey, let's put them together.
Yeah, honestly, you're right. It looks like they have half a Royal Giant deck and then half a Miner deck. Here comes that RG Bridge. Gold Knight pushing it forward. Gold Knight also going to take this Inferno Tower. Firecracker trying to get some sort of value. Gold Knight dash not able to hit the Firecracker. It's too far away. Fireball going to drop on top of the opposing Firecracker and get some chip here. Fascinating.
Ooh, I love this Miner in this deck now. Could we see the Miner be used on top of that Inferno Tower?
That's a great call out. I think that's 100% something that they're going to need to do to break through, especially since they don't have a lightning.
Yeah, I really like that combo. The longer this game goes on, the more interesting it can get, especially now that we see these Evos coming out. We see the Evo Firecracker on the right side get taken out relatively quickly by this Poison, just seeing, hey, this is a threat. Let's get it off the field as quickly as possible. And we're seeing another Evo. We're seeing a Royal Giant on the left side, but this time it's going to be an Evo. Is he going to be able to break through this Inferno Tower, though? I don't know. Wall Breaker's on defense. Fireball comes onto that Evo Firecracker immediately. Evo Royal Giant has a lot of HP still.
Yeah. A lot of HP. It's trying to connect for a shot. Evil Firecracker in combination with that as well, with the Tornado somehow making it to the tower, and that's going to put them over 1,000 HP up with a very nice situation for themselves here.
I love this deck right now by Wallace and Arden. This is so cool, seeing two different decks synergize so well together. Usually you see the same deck and it's like, hey, we're just gonna make the same deck with a couple of little twists. But these decks are so different, but they also have synergistic capabilities as well. Royal Giant on the left side isn't gonna do much, Miner on the right side isn't gonna do probably much. And we're seeing that a little bit of a struggle for Vitor and Surgical Goblin, just trying to deal damage. Look, they haven't dealt really any, and there's only 1 minute and 25 seconds left.
I think the biggest thing with that is because they haven't used their big spells yet. It's the only card they haven't used. They need to get a bunch of those down in combination with those drills to really guarantee some good damage here.
Yeah, because it has to be fire. Wait, but why wouldn't they have used the Fireball on that Evo Firecracker? That's so... A couple of weird plays on offense and on defense, if that's the case. Because, yeah, it's just been a game of all defense right now for Vitor and Surge. And if you're defending the entire game... You know what? That right side tower, did I miss something there? What happened to that right side tower?
I'm not sure, but here comes another drill. Drill inbound. Miner is picked up. Good defense. Gold Knight Bridge are going to try to connect a second drill as well. Gold Knight not going to be able to get there because of a nice Fisherman. Fisherman best counter to Golden Knight there, preventing any sort of dash. And it's down to the wire catchment. 30 seconds left on the clock.
I would love to see what happened on this right side because I thought this game was over. And no. Firecracker gets on tower. No, it just missed. Fireball comes in. That's going to be enough. All they need is one more spell. But we have spells on that side.
Drill doesn't do enough, and the Miner takes it. Oh my god.
What? That one from the game where I was like, wow, this is a really boring game. This is one that we could just skip to the end. We know what's going to happen. Let's get to game number 2. I was so wrong.
That was a roller coaster of emotions. I thought you were right about that Fireball being enough, but there was 40 HP left on it. Miner Fireball plus Log was a lot quicker than that Drill, and the Drill does not do enough damage. It only does about, I believe, 12, maybe 15, and that left that tower HP dangerously low, but the Goblin was able to connect in time.
This is crazy. Fireball gets on the skeletons. Oh, that's such a good way to finish it off. I just don't understand how that right side tower, how did that game get so close? It was 2,000 HP separating the two towers. It was 2,300 versus 500, and somehow that game came down to what? 3 HP?
It must have been a Firecracker Evo shot. That's the only way. Firecracker doing so much damage to the towers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've said it before. Maybe a little bit of a nerf to that Firecracker because that one combo, when we saw the Firecracker and the RG both hit the tower at the same time, the tower was cut in half. It was gone.
And we can see right there, just by looking at the decks there, how good the Firecracker is. Playing 6, 7, 8 times on either side to get 2 evolutions down within the match is crazy to see how just cycling that card becomes so important just to get that evolution form. Because once it's in hand, if you can save it for the right opportunity to get locked on the tower, you're going to take that tower and shift the momentum of the match completely.
Is the Evo Firecracker the most broken card we've ever seen in Clash Royale? That's a good argument. What do you think?
It's a tough question. You know, you have the Night Witch, you have the Executioner on release in contention there. But honestly, you might be right. The Evo Firecracker, I feel like there's never been a card in Clash Royale history where one hit can do that amount of damage, and it's just so ridiculous because sometimes it's just impossible, especially when you combo with the tornado, to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, Sir Tag, I saw put it a funny way. He's like, it's the equivalent of a Hog Rider being able to teleport on your tower and get 2 shots. That sounds like a pretty broken card. Well, that's basically what the Firecracker can do. If you cannot deal with the Firecracker, gets a shot on tower, boom, 1,000 damage right there. And there's nothing you can do about it. This is...
and only
yeah,
3 elixir as well.
That's a good point. Oh,
3 elixir, like the fact that evolutions don't increase in elixir when the evolution forms comes in your hand is just pretty crazy to think of. Many talked about earlier, but not having the evolution in your deck is a severe disadvantage. You almost need it just because that evolution form will provide more value, and that's what Clash Royale is all about. How much value can you get from your cards? How much elixir can you save or use later for more tower damage? It all comes down to that. Those evolutions allow for more opportunities like that.
yeah, it's simple. Have an evolution, play evolution, win game. I like it. The math checks out. Going into this match, okay, what are we seeing on the top and bottom? So it looks like Vitor and Surge are going for the exact same deck, which is, I don't know, like they lost the first game, so maybe they just feel confident. Maybe they realize like, oh, we made a mistake, we can learn from that mistake and let's just run it back one more time. But if they lose, they're out. So it's a big risk.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think you're right on with their mindset here. We'll see if that's going to work out for them. Skelly King on defense versus the drill, kind of pushing a bit. Phoenix does a great job taking that all the way down. Firecracker finishes off. Would not be surprised if they just don't use this ability in order to just save a couple elixir there, because it wouldn't have gotten that much value.
Very similar decks coming out as well. We're seeing Quick Cycle, we're seeing Miner, we're seeing Drill, we're probably going to see Tornadoes, Golden Knights, Firecrackers. I'm still leaning into what we talked about earlier, and it's Firecracker. If you cannot deal with a Firecracker, if you can get a well-timed Firecracker and get on tower with that Evo Firecracker, you just win. And that's what it's going to come down to. And I want to see what players do. What's the best way to defend the Firecracker if you're both teams? I don't see big spells yet, so if they do have big spells, probably that, right?
Yeah, I mean, Wallace and Arden, they have the arrows, but arrows not going to be able to kill that evolution form. Nito gonna come out here and deal quite well with the Goblin getting that King to activation, but that's a lot of tower damage. Another option for the Firecracker maybe would be a Nito plus Log. That does kill the Evo form.
Ooh, that is very, very good to know, because I did not know that. Is it Tornado and Log is enough to take out Evo Firecracker? Just that?
Yeah, it is. So that's probably a combo they're gonna use.
There it is. We just saw it.
There you go.
Great call.
Trying to get some chip damage as well. Drill inbound. I mean, this is a very close game. Double drill plus free pre-fireball. That's really tough to defend.
That was a very, very clean defense. Yes, it dealt some damage, but look how close this game is. Evil Firecracker alert. JJ, Evil Firecracker alert. And there it is. Tornado Log right away. You called that from a mile away.
Yeah, Tornado Log is really nice because you get a bunch of tower damage on it as well. Here comes another Evo Firecracker at the bridge. Going to be picked up pretty easily. I feel like that was kind of a waste of an Evo Firecracker. I bet that was a bit of a miscommunication there. I'm guessing that Surgical or Vitor was supposed to go for a drill in that situation, but didn't.
Yeah, because we were talking about how important that card is. That's your trump card. That's your queen in chess, and you just gave away your queen for nothing. You didn't even get like a pawn in return.
Yeah, and it's going to take them a lot of cycles to get back to that as well.
This defense, the Royal Ghost is really nice, but is there a world where right now that the Royal Ghost is out of cycle, this is where you can get maybe a little bit more aggressive if you're Vitor and Surge going with those double drills? I guess this game is insane. It's non-stop on both sides, and it looks like both teams are really in tune, because I haven't seen any major mistakes. We haven't seen any misspells where both players play a spell at the exact same time. Great Tornado. Goblins do get on tower. Only two stabs, so not the end of the world. But this is
plays the spells from these players with the pre-fireball and those NATO to get those Goblin drill shots. You're absolutely right about this Ghost though. Look at his white at this drill.
So
this is getting dangerous in spell damage range. We've seen how much damage a poison plus fireball or something can do though.
Yeah, this ghost you still have to deal with, but this is it. I think is that not enough for, oh, it's enough for both sides. It's a spell off. Who can get the most spells off? We see a lot coming in from Surge and Vitor. We just need to see 2 fireballs. There they are.
No way! The double fireball. Yeah, that was so satisfying. Fireball, instantaneous damage, not able to compete. Or sorry, the poison not able to compete with the fireballs there. I didn't even realize that they had double fireball instead of poison, but it ended up working out in the end.
That was so satisfying to watch because the fireballs, did they do that on purpose? Wait and be like 3, 2, 1 fireball? Because the fireballs came out together and then just kind of slowly split apart while in midair. It looked like 1 fireball and then became 2. Super satisfying to watch.
Yeah, here's the replay, ladies and gentlemen. We saw Vitor and Surgical up a lot of damage early on. Huge comeback from Wallace, though, with the really good tornadoes get those goblin drill hits and the double fireball, like Cashman said. They looked like one at the start, but they spread apart and they took that tower very convincingly. GG's.
So that means we're going to a game number 3. And okay, I take it back what I said at the beginning of game 2. I said, okay, this is risky, playing the exact same deck when you know you just lost with this deck. Is it worth the risk? Well, Vitor and Surge, they thought so. They liked this deck, and I could see why. This deck, it seems good. Like, what are the flaws with this deck? Because you have consistent damage. Maybe I like the miner and the drill, not the double drill. But I guess it just lost to miner, or it just beat the miner and drill.
It's really tough to say. There's just so much that goes into creating 2v2 decks because there's so many cards and there's so many complexities. It's really hard to pick apart the decks because of that. And most of the time, it just comes down to gameplay as well. We saw Surge and his teammate just kind of played a little bit better than their opponents there. Maybe that is just going back to their practice. Maybe they're able to train and get that synergy down.
Maybe I have to apologize for that as well. Maybe practice does make perfect, because right now, Vitor and Surge, they look pretty perfect out there. But do they pivot? Is this when you switch? You played a deck, you lost. You played a deck and you won. Do you just commit to the bit and just keep playing the deck until it doesn't work? What's their strat here?
That's a good question. If they just play the same deck 3 games in a row and reverse sweep after losing with it first, that would be so surprising. Also, we haven't seen Lava once yet this set. Maybe we'll see one of these teams come out with it in game 3.
Yeah, the lava. Okay, we're already seeing. Okay, never mind. We're just running it right back. We're seeing the exact same decks from both sides. Wait, did Surge and Vitor use wall breakers last game?
No, I think that is an addition. I think the wall breakers are going to be a little bit of an added pressure. Maybe that'll give them a slight advantage.
Maybe they just got rid of a card that they didn't think was useful. Great King Tower activation on this Royal Ghost. Miner gets picked up. Firecracker at the bridge, really aggressive, but I love it because we saw how close all these games have been. That little bit of damage is crucial.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. 2v2, it comes down to every little hit, because with double the elixir on the board with 2 players, the chances of getting a huge connection are very low, because there's no like overcommit, oh I can't defend, because you have your teammates elixir to help you out. So a lot of the time, any little piece of chip damage here or there can be so important.
Wow, and we're just running back the first game. This is the first game all over again. We're seeing the Royal Giant. It's weird to say, like a Royal Giant miner deck versus Vitor and Surge. Let's just call it Vitor and Surge's deck, because they love the deck and they're committing to the deck. There is no other deck in their mind in 2v2. This is the 2v2 deck, and coming out of the gate, it's working for them. They've been able to put on consistent pressure constantly, but it's all about, we saw it happen in the first game, that Evo Royal Giant, that Evo Firecracker. Are they going to be able to stop them? Their last card, if they have Fireball, so no, that should be okay. As long as they use the Fireball on the Evo Firecracker, ooh, solid defense. Okay, I like what I'm seeing right now.
Here comes a drill on the right. Vitor leaking a bit of elixir to try and pair this Firecracker successfully with the drill. Bomb tower, though, going to clean that pretty nicely up. You know, you talked about the repeat of game 1. I feel like it is a repeat matchup, but gameplay-wise, it's completely different. Vitor and Surgical seem like they have a very nice hold on their opponents here at this point.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's taken an absolute 180. That wall breaker didn't get the connection? Whoa, that could have been game right there.
I thought for sure it connected. That NATO looked like gorgeous, but just barely not able to.
really good defense dealing with this Evo Firecracker on the left side. Right now, Vitor and Surgical Goblin feel like they're in control, and they're getting close to that danger zone where we see that double spell come out, maybe double drill, double spell, and we could see a good 600, 700 damage just like that. And right now, that right side tower is at 1440, so it's getting close. We're getting into OT, and I need something out of Wallace and Arden right now. They got to figure it out, and that Royal Giant at the back, that's a great start.
I like the Royal Giant back for sure. Wait, that Phoenix Egg is out of range of both towers. It's going to respawn. That could be a huge difference maker. No, it's not going to be that big.
Forced out some elixir.
It definitely did. Fisherman going to walk away, though. Mike Miner is not getting pulled now. So Tornado's going to be forced out, but the Inferno is just going to clean up the defense.
Yeah, and that Evil Firecracker, I guess you had to play it there, but you see immediately that Fireball comes in, gets on tower as well, and now we see that Evo Royal Giant. Is Inferno tower out of cycle? This could get on tower here.
You're absolutely right. Log's gonna come through. That drill is dead. Goblins in the defense as well. Log and Ice Spirit. The pre-arrows hits the Ice Spirit. This Evo RG is taking this tower down right now, Catchman.
And it forces out a fireball at the end too. This should be an easy. Just wash your hands, you know, dry them. Just go back to the drawing board. This is over, and just like that, Surgical Goblin and Vitor, they're out. The deck, it has. I can't believe it didn't work the third time.
GG's. I mean, that was fantastic gameplay from both players, but basically just a repeat of that game one. I think this RG Miner deck has a bit of an advantage over the Surge Vitor deck here.
I love this deck. I love the idea behind this deck. It's so cool just seeing a good deck and a good deck combined to be a great deck. It's so cool. We've seen this time and time again. One player on one team uses the drill wall breakers. The other player uses drill wall breakers, but it's the same thing. I know the strategy is it's like, okay, maybe they can't, if they can deal with mine, they can't deal with yours. But I like this synergy going on with the Wallace Arden deck. It's the only time we've seen it. I want to see more of it.
Yeah, I would love to see more of that as well. Just the idea. It doesn't even have to be the exact same thing. Just the idea of comboing different champs, comboing different Evos, different ideas in general for the deck to create synergy, but also just to not be the same thing over and over again. If you're just going RG, 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 I feel like your opponent is able to defend. But if there's an RG, if there's a Miner, if there's an Evo Firecracker, 3 different win conditions to deal with at the same time, I feel like that's got to get into your opponent's head and make it kind of get them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, we saw it already happen today where we saw the double Royal Giant come out, but then we saw one Inferno Tower take out both because it's good at dealing with both of them. And so having that Miner instead adds another level of, oh, I got to deal with this, but I deal with it in a different way. I got bad news. I think I've lost every prediction.
Hey, this time I'm with you. I lost with you. Manny's going to take the prediction crown so far. I'm going to try my best to come back, though.
Yeah, next game is going to be the last game of the quarterfinals. We have Platypus versus Miner One Trick. And right now, I think we both have Platypus. Do you want to change? That's my question.
I'm going to stick with Platypus. You know, off stream, we were talking. You didn't even look at the players. You said, Platypus, I love that name. I'm going for it. Tell me about what about that Platypus name just strikes out to you.
Well, when I think of a platypus, I think of 2 things. I think of a duck and I think of a beaver, and it's 2 separate entities coming together as one ultimate being. I think that's the perfect symbolism of what 2v2 is about in Clash Royale.
That was the most elegant sentence I've ever heard in my life. That whole bit was supposed to be a meme, and this man just pulled the most beautiful metaphor for 2v2 I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, just kind of off the. Maybe I gotta start writing some poetry because yeah, I'm gonna call it the platypus, and I'm gonna talk about the elegance and majestic nature of the platypus. Yeah, it's gonna be funny when they lose right away, and I'm like, oh no, who saw that coming? But I believe in you, platypuses. You guys can do it. Is this the end? Do we have a little quick break?
A quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We will be covering the platypus match right after this. Thank you guys for watching.
Don't go anywhere. We want to see more platypus. Platypi.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'm a work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what it's meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'm a work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
Well, we are back. I'm in the lead in predictions. I'm happy as can be. Juicy's looking to come back. Cashman's kind of just hanging in there. We got some more action. Juicy, talk to me a little bit about the matchup that we're going to be seeing now.
So I want to talk about Team Platypus. They have EGW on their team. I've casted some of his matchups in the past. This man is a master deck creator, and that's something I cannot wait to see in this 2v2 format with the double Evos, the double champs, and the double everything. I think that we're going to see some fascinating decks come out that are able to surprise their opponent, and I'm hoping they take the win because that's who I picked for my prediction. I got to come back. I got to get you, Mini.
Well, let's hope you don't. EGW definitely being that experienced and crazy deck picker that you speak about. He loves his spam, but I don't know how much room for that there will be in 2v2 when there just seems to be so much overload of spells in every single game. Going up against the combo of Nate and ASAP, the minor one tricks as they call themselves. I'm rolling with them. I don't know about you, but I'm confident in that Nate ASAP gameplay. And we're wrapping up the quarterfinals after this one, going into a semifinals where I'm excited to see a LeBron James take on Mohamed Light.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them play. I want to talk about this current matchup a little bit more. What kind of decks do you think that we're going to see? Do you think that the meta is going to shift a little bit based off that last best of 3 that we just witnessed with the double, or not the double, the minor plus RG combo with different decks synergizing together?
Yeah, I definitely think that we're going to see a lot of minor firecracker. I mean, we have the miner player, which is Nate, and we have the drill player, which is Asaph. So will we see miner and drill, or will we see them shift to double drill or double miner? I'm very intrigued, but both Asaph and Nate have a very similar playstyle, so I'm expecting a lot of chemistry and a lot of good communication between the both of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Miner plus drill. We've seen a lot of that with the poisons, the fireball. Seems to be the most popular deck in combination with that evil firecracker so far today.
Yep, and right off the bat, we have a miner and spear gobs at the bridge, and Lava Hound, the deck of choice from EGW and Capcom.
Lava and Skelly King coming on the right. Miner gonna deal with this, plus the ability to deal with that Skelly King ability. Pretty solid. Do they have an Inferno Tower or some sort of building to deal with this lava? No, they have a Phoenix and a Firecracker.
Yep, Firecracker gonna get arrowed down while the Inferno Dragon locks onto the Phoenix. Will there be a spell to take it out? It doesn't look like it. And this Bomb Tower Bomb's gonna do a great job at taking care of these lava pups.
Goal line dash, trying to make the tower on the top of your screen. Gonna be some pretty solid defense. Firecracker on the counter push. Fireball gonna come out late to deal with that. And a very nice Dark Prince here, gonna clean up the miner and absorb that Fire Spirit to prevent any massive damage.
Dark Prince rolling down the lane for the counter push, picked up by a mighty miner from Team Miner. One trick. Interested to see how this bomb tower fares up against this Lava Hound. They're really gonna have to rely on the Firecracker Evos to really force out double big spells. Mighty Miner ability gets popped, does not make it to the tower though. What do you think about this matchup as we approach double Elixir juicing?
I mean, it's a good question. A lot of the time, I would be like, you know, the heavier deck, lava, maybe a little bit better in the double elixir arena. But I feel at the same time that Nate and the Sauce deck is just so good on defense and control that that might not end up being a factor.
See, it's funny you say that because I think one of the keys to the success of this Miner Firecracker deck in 2v2 specifically is that in 1v1, if you're playing against this deck, you have to be toned in, locked in, and ready to take care of everything, right? But in the 2v2 situation, when you're relying on your partner to make a lot of those plays as well, it can get even more overwhelming, and I believe that's why this deck just has so much success.
Here comes the Evolve Firecracker plus Tornado combo. It's getting one shot on the tower. Fireball is going to take it out eventually, but that one shot taking the tower all the way down to 1099. This is a massive counter push to see if it's able to break through for any damage, and it looks like not. The double Phoenix on defense. You know, who needs an Inferno Tower if you have that?
Yeah, for the Miner players, showing why this deck is so strong as another Lava Hound push appears up on the right hand lane. Evo Firecracker does get a little bit of a splash. Will this NATO help out? It is getting more poison on tower. Crunch time for these players.
You have to predict those Evo Firecrackers, the bridge, or you're going to get in a situation just like this where your tower is already down to 285. The Lightning is pretty solid on the offense. Will this Bloom connect?
Oh my god, they missed the arrows!
He missed the arrows!
Bummer.
Barry! No way! The comeback won a game!
Wow.
Wow, is right. I'm speechless. EGW and Capcom just gonna barely take the W here. I don't know what to say. I mean, the game, they had it under control, but that missed arrows, you called it in the moment. That arrows was not able to hit the balloon because of the Phoenix knocking out of range away from the lava pups. If they could have had arrows on everything, it would have been game over, but that one balloon shot made all the difference.
Yes, and there was a crucial prediction lightning that picked up the first Phoenix, and those arrows, it just hurts. It just hurts, you know. I'm picking these players to win due to my unparalleled expertise in order to win this prediction championship, and they just go ahead and miss the arrows. Come on, guys, regroup.
Okay, you're talking regroup. We see the current decks. Do you think Nate and Azaf are just going to replay their decks here? I believe these are the same decks that Surge and Vito were playing previously, and they repeated it 3 times in a row. Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think they're going to try and switch it up?
I definitely think that they're going to keep this comfort up. Both these players, we've said it before, this is the playstyle that suits them. It's been working for them so far, and honestly, it worked for them that game, barring just those missed arrows and a little bit over aggressive in those last 30 seconds of the game. So if I was them, I'd definitely run it back. There just really doesn't seem to be anything that hard counters this archetype in 2v2.
Yeah, it's a good call out. Looking at the Capcom and EGW side of things, I would not be surprised to see a switch up, or at the same time, maybe they'll just say, okay, we won game 1, might as well repeat. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Yep, we already see the repeat from EGW and Capcom on the top side of the screen. That drill is already putting in work on that tower. Tower down to 1853 as we see the Monk going on the right-hand lane, pick up by the mighty Miner. Phoenix in response while this Inferno Dragon goes to work.
Do they have the arrows in cycle for this Firecracker? They do. It's going to take the egg out as well. Inferno Drag and a Lava Hound. Still a huge threat here. Miner as well. A Phoenix down for defense. Is that enough?
No elixir.
Yeah.
That Spear Goblin is putting the entire team on its back. Goes
we need
ahead
a
and rounds up
replay on
the
that
Bomber
Spear
as
Goblin.
well.
That was crazy. That one Spear Goblin was the MVP. He was able to kill everything.
Yep, another balloon in the works. Is there a tornado to pull this to King Tower? Yes, no, yes.
Good call out there. Just last second tornado, barely stopping that hit. And the King Tower activation is going to be huge. Overall, the dust has settled. Nate and Soft up a bit of elixir and, more importantly, the damage here.
Yeah, that was a huge defense there as that last elixir geared up for ASAP to get that activation. And now I still feel like there's such a big elixir deficit. This next push is going to have to be a clean defense from them. I like that they're spending the Golden Knight on the right. This is going to create some good counter pressure to prevent EGW and Capcom from spending all of their elixir on offense.
Double arrows inbound though, and Inferno locked on the tower. Spear Goblins did not distract. Inferno is going to take that tower down below 1,000 HP with the help of that Lava Hound. And all of a sudden, EGW and Capcom once again in the lead here.
Yep, great attack from Team Platypus. Arrows on the right side to pick up the Bomber while a Miner goes to work. Drill right into the Evo Barbarians. Is there a tornado to pull this back? No, there is not. And that drill still got a lot of damage, Juicy.
It got some solid damage, but I think this is an overall win for EGW Capcom, preventing any sort of evolved Firecracker. Lightning come down, and now they are just one lightning away from taking this win. And it's in Nate and Asaf's court here to try and make something happen.
Yep, tower already down to lightning range on the left-hand side. Drill going to be coming in. Keep in mind, there are no Evo Firecrackers in cycle as both were just used at the bridge. Tornado to pull that Scout King away from the tower while that drill goes to work. Arrows at the bridge and Juicy. That is a clean defense.
Miner in the back. Phoenix trying to lock on. It doesn't get there. Here comes a Miner defense. A fireball coming through. Miner's still chipping away. Will they get the lightning down? They do not get the lightning down. And Nate and Soft take game 3. Somehow, some way, just barely. What did I just witness?
That was a clean defense. Famous last words. What a game, Juicy.
You cursed them.
I did. I mean, I want to say it wasn't on purpose, but they're my team. What can I do? Got to root for them.
That's crazy. I mean, I feel like there has to be a lightning coming down there. I think there has to be a better communication of who's going to defend to save up for enough elixir to get the lightning. Because even if you lose that tower and you get the lightning down, that's better from losing the game straight up. This tower is currently at 700. This Miner is putting in the work. The Phoenix, the Fireball, the Miner defense was the huge mistake there. You need to have that elixir to get the lightning down on offense. And the elixir just doesn't recoup as quickly in 2v2. If you guys didn't know, the elixir per time ratio, it actually takes more time for an elixir to come into your elixir bar in 2v2 because there's 2 players. Maybe these players are just not accustomed to that. Capcom not able to get the lightning down in time.
You know what? I just cannot complain about the first 2 games that these teams have given us. 2 intense games. The first game, it was ASAP and Katori, Nate making those mistakes and dropping the game at the end. This time around, it just seemed like every single thing clicked for them in those last 20 seconds. High spear goblins to prevent the barbs from pulling those phoenixes away. A fireball that pushed back a miner, which gave the phoenix chance to respawn on top of the tower. The miner in the back to pull the skeleton king back. Everything clicked for them, and that's just one of the things that happens in Clash Royale every now and then.
One thing we didn't mention yet was just that the awareness to completely switch lanes there was crazy. They were attacking the right line the entire game, but they knew they were down a lot of damage. They knew their towers in lightning range, and they had a counter champion left inside. They decided, okay, we're going Mighty Miner in front to tank. We're going double Phoenix push. They don't have Fireball or Lightning in cycle for the defense, and they're able to just somehow get that Phoenix along with the miners and the drills to make that huge comeback, taking that tower from 1800 all the way to 0 in a matter of seconds.
That was just one of the reasons why I love 2v2. You cannot replicate this in 1v1 unless you're Vitor and let like a Sparky take your tower in the past 10 seconds with a huge lead. But that is just, we just had to, it just clicked with me, like one of those situations. I love Vitor though. But you just have those amount of troops, and like you said, the awareness of them to switch lanes was what won them the game. There was no way the push on the right hand side Miner Drill would have been able to take it, and those are just winning plays that can maybe win championships.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for watching so far. That game was fantastic. We are going to be taking a short break, and we'll be back for the semifinals right after this. What's up?
Are we not still 1-1?
No, that was it.
That was it?
Yes.
No, it's 1-1.
Oh, I thought it said 1-1 on the... All right, my bad, guys. I thought it said 1-1 on the graphic at the end there. But apparently we are 1-1. I thought I lost the prediction. Wait a second. I still have a chance? The Platypus...
I have a chance.
The Platypus...
I still have a chance. I'm happy they pulled that back in game 2.
All right, okay, so if game 2 is coming up... Apologies, everyone. What do you think? Are they going to repeat again? Are we going to see the same exact deck with the drill? Or are they going to finally realize, okay, maybe this doesn't have a good matchup versus Lava Hound deck?
You see, it's given us such... Oh, there we go. There's a switch. And that... Okay.
What is
wow.
going on? This is a crazy start. Double barrels. Mother Witch on defense. No spells inbound. But then the fireball drops on the Mother Witch. And that tower's down at 1671 first play.
I mean, you talk about openings. That is the best it's going to get. Double Mother Witch from EGW and Capcom. I like the double Mother Witch just because you're not used to seeing double fireball even in 2v2. This case, the poison is going to do a great job of taking care of it as well, so maybe this double Mother Witch is not going to work out for them. Here we go again, Skeleton Barrel and Goblin Barrel at the bridge.
This tower is all the way down within the first 60 seconds. I mean, I might as well have said that this game is over because that's what it looks like right now. This counter push trying to make something happen, but these barbs on the defense are putting in the work.
Those barbs came in so clutch there due to the lack of fireball and the elixir thereof. King Tower activation with that log. Heads up play from Kantori and Alsa. Punish here at the bridge from EGW and Captain. See how much damage this can get.
The rage as well. Fireball comes down when it is in hand or when he has enough elixir, but that tower's already down to spell radius. This has been one of the craziest matches of Clash Royale I've ever seen. These players are going for knockout punches.
This is a slugfest. First right hand from Minor One Tricks. Right hand straight back from the Platypus duo. This is lovely 2v2. This is 2v2 at its peak, Juicy.
You think so? Just no defense, all aggression. Fantastic stuff. I mean, crazy stuff. I want to talk a little bit about Nate Nassov's deck. What do you think about these double Evo barbs in this bait deck? I think could be solid.
I'm just having some difficulties picturing how this is gonna fare in the 2-tower game, just because I'm not seeing any big spells thus far, and there's no big spells from Capcom. We see that Evo Firecracker being that last card. So if there's a bomb tower from the Miner team, I'm not sure how this 2-tower situation will play out for them.
Monk ability right here, almost able to deflect that.
That was scary close.
It was Mother Witch at the bridge, gonna spawn one piggy versus these goblins. Arrows, Dark Gob down defense. Evo Barbs are in hand. Ability is gonna kill the Dark Gob though. And these Evo Barbs are getting shredded. Another set of Evo Barbs are down. Fireball on defense. I can't even see what is happening on this board right now.
You see, and that's the problem when you don't have a big spell to try to make through room. Those Evo Barbs just completely went to work there.
Yeah, it's a great call out. I wonder maybe Gapgun has something for his last card here. They do need a Fireball on defense.
Oh,
wow. That Bandit breaking through for some massive damage and the double defense. I think that's going to put a Capgun and EGW in the driver's seat here.
100%. You just talk about communication being such a crucial part of 2v2, but how do you communicate against like a bandit in half a second? That's just, you have to be a little bit more ready for that. That is just great awareness from EGW and Captain to pressure them into that situation.
And on the other end of things, we see a double defense with a Mother Witch. So now EGW and Capgun with a bad double defense. Firecracker Bridge though, this is on tower. This is doing so much damage.
Great placement on that minor log to be able to clean it up. We see a Fireball here, not going to take out any Mother Witch, but it does a Flying Machine. And this is gonna, oh my god.
Look at those
without
piggies.
a counter push.
Princess Log tries to clean everything up, goes to the pocket, trying to make something happen. Dark Gob has to come down to prevent that one hit, and a pre-Firecracker the bridge is going to finish up this game. As long as they have something to deal with and finish this off, yes, the Monk in the pocket should be enough.
You know, as upset as I may be to lose a prediction, what better game to lose a prediction in than this best of 3 right here?
That was a crazy final game, best of 3. I thought that Nate and Asaf had already won within the first 60 seconds, taking that tower well below 1000 HP, but that counter push was beautiful. Another instance of this slow elixir regen just making a huge difference. That Fireball not able to come down in time for those piggies.
Yeah, and it just feels like everything clicked in that game for EGW and Capgun. If that tower would have stayed at, let's say, 500 HP and not gone down all the way, there wasn't a big spell from EGW and Capgun. So it just feels like all the right moves in all the right places for these two. And they're going to be moving on to our semifinals match against the Brazilian duo.
I love that double Monk in the pocket as well to finish off the game. It's fascinating to see. You almost never see something like that. The biggest thing here, looking at this board here, is EGW 0 times using the Evo Barbs. Manny, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it just feels like there was never any room for even like a cycle of those barbs, unless they were split in the back. But you have to keep in mind they lost their tower at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So it was as opposed to Katori and Asaph, who were able to get extreme value out of those Evo Barbs. It just feels like their deck pick was great. No big spells from the opposing team to take care of those, but at the end of the day, the Mother Witch and Flying Machines and the Firecrackers just proved to be too many nuisances to take care of.
Yeah, you called at the beginning that you liked the double Mother Witch, and I was like, I don't know, maybe it's just going to give too much spell value. But we saw those Mother Witches put absolute work in against the Goblin Barrels, against the Skelly Barrels, even against the Barbs there. And Poison just not able to kill them quickly enough before they get all that value.
Yep, let's take a look at our updated bracket here now that we have all the quarterfinal rounds complete. Will be our first match of the semifinals. LeBron James, the king, versus the king in Mohammed Light. At the bottom side of the screen, we see Mancos versus the Platypus duo that just won. Juicy, we got a juicy remainder of the bracket left off.
Yes, we do. We have Mohammed Light still in it. We have the Platypus duo, the mix of, what did he say? The duck and the beaver. Perfect duo here. Fantastic deck picks from EGW here as well versus Mancos. It's a stacked rest of the bracket. I can't be surprised. These are the best of the best players playing in this tournament.
Yep. Well, that's all our quarterfinals matches for today. Let's go right into the semifinals right after this break.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane.
And we are back. It is semifinal time. Juicy, LeBron James versus Mo Light. Who you got?
I mean, I gotta pick Muhammad Lights and Lucas. They're just so good. Remind me again, who is on LeBron James? I believe it's Bob the Rock and...
It's Bob the Rock, and it's another teammate specifically from Netherlands. But they've done a great job so far. They both have a very similar playstyle in terms of beatdown. And I'm interested to see how Molet and Lucas, who I believe are getting some deck picks from Jeebus, I wonder how these deck picks are going to stack up against them, because I'm not sure how many of these teams have coaches, but one thing's for certain is Molet never walks alone. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one in terms of matchups.
Yeah, that's a good call out. We mentioned earlier when we saw the Molet Lucas game with the Dark Goblin, no Firecracker, double bait, absolutely destroyed their opponent. I want to see that deck happen again. We watched LeBron James' first match. It seems like they struggled a little bit more. The decks were, not as clear-cut and concise. So I think that's another reason why I gotta pick Mo here. Just a little bit more consistent gameplay from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, the LeBron James duo definitely going with a lot more beatdown, not the drill minor firecracker that we've been seeing, although they did pull it out one game. So we'll see what they decide to open up with. Maybe they're going to try to catch the other players off guard. But me and Juicy going with Mo, Cashman in the back, going with LeBron James. I believe, has Cashman won a prediction? I think he won the last one.
I think he did win the last one with me, I believe. I mean, it's better than nothing. Congratulations to Cashman. He's in the back. He's going to be coming up next for the finals. But before that, we have to finish up the semifinals. We have Muhammad Light and Lucas at the bottom here versus Bob and Soki, aka Sosa. That's his teammates. And they're going to start with the lava. And immediate pressure opposite lane from Mo and Lucas.
Yep, great Goblin Gauge placement to deal with this pressure from Mo and Lucas. This bomber should... This wow. Bomber's going to activate King Tower, and that is just a great start. You talk about communication and clarity on the defense. Great job from LeBron James to really make sure nothing gets on tower there. And Tornado being forced back because of that 1 HP Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, that was fascinating. Fireball just not doing enough damage. And now this is a very difficult situation. Unless they have another big spell to deal with this, the Rage, the E-Drag, the Bomber Tower on the defense. It was a good defense. They didn't take a balloon hit, but the tower's already down to 1891.
Ooh. Very, very close defense there. And their saving grace was the HP leftover on that bomb tower, forcing out 2 balloon shots instead of 1. And looks like Lucas, I believe he may be using the Evo Skellies for the first time today. But it does look like both of these players on the bottom are rocking RG.
Here comes the Lumberjack RG, the bridge, Barbs on the defense. Fireball does come down to deal with the Barbs, but they don't have a reset for this Inferno Drag. RG still going to get a massive amount of damage being raged up there, increasing that attack rate.
Yeah, would have loved to see a Lava Hound in front of that Inferno Dragon just because there was no Electro Dragon cycle.
That's a good
would
call.
have been great at taking them off guard and forcing that Mother Witch to really struggle on the defense. But it looks like we're going to see a tower trade scenario unless Molet and Lucas can pull off one of those defenses that, they're definitely capable of.
Yeah, and a Zap is forced on the opposite lane, meaning that this push is just... It's not enough elixir, I don't think, to take it out. ability here, gonna deflect some nice shots. I was definitely wrong. This Baby Dragon takes everything out.
Baby Dragon lineup on the monk was just precision there. Evo Barbs at the river, and there's no Fireball to really collect and go on all of them at once. This raised up Barbarian on the tower. Fireball comes down all the Mother Witch on the right-hand side. These King Towers are taking a lot of damage juicing.
Yeah, down to 27-19 already. Evo Barbs in the pocket, one of the most powerful plays in the game right now. They're still doing damage to that King. Both the Princess and the King here down below about 2k HP here.
Yep, arrows to take out this egg and deal some damage on the Inferno Dragon. And I'm interested to see what happens right here. There's a tempo switch going right in the middle. Goblin Case to pull those weapons. Beautiful Tornado Fireball combo from Lucas and Mo. Wow.
That is exactly what you want to see if you are trying to make a push. You get a nice connection for damage, but then you also prevent your entire opponent's counter push. That Tornado plus Fireball not only wiped everything out, but it also brought everything in range of that giant Skelly Bomb for maximum value.
Yep, this Electro Dragon putting in work on the balloon, but it is going to retarget onto that Electro Dragon. Fireball hits the Inferno, and the Phoenix Balloon does get on the tower. Cage not early enough to pick up the RG.
Zap to reset, 31 HP, Log's gonna take it out. That Goblin Cage just placed one tile too high, not pushing the RG back off the tower, instead just closing the gap, pushing it towards the tower. And that's gonna be game one down for Lucas and Mo.
Yep, LeBron James dropping the first game of the day. That is just, I feel it's like that RG in the middle was just pickpocketing that game there.
Yeah, the RG in the pocket plus the fireballs were definitely on point. Well played. Looking at the replay here, I was very impressed with Mo and Lucas's ability to not lose the game at this point. I honestly thought this lava push was just too great, but the E-Drag was really solid in defense. That Mother Witch was the MVP as well, defending everything on the right and also pulling those Evo Barbs back. Here we saw that massive NATO Fireball plus the E-Drag plus the giant Skelly Bomb. And at that point, they did have a bit of a counter push, but another fantastic defense along with a log to finish out the game. It was over.
Yep, and that NATO Fireball has got to be the play of the game. It just got so much value. And those Evo Barbarians, as menacing as they are, that Evo RG, every shot was just like, nope, get back. Nope, get back. Oh, you're gonna get closer again? No, get back. It just made so much room and got so much damage that the game just completely on his heels.
Yeah, that's a good point about the Evo RG pushing those Evo Barbs back. If you guys don't know how the Evo Barbs work, basically every time they attack something, they get angry. It's not the same as Rage, but their attack speed will increase, and it does stack the more hits they get in. With the RG in the pocket there, the RG was able to push back those barbs, prevent that angry state completely, and that was why it was able to break through for so much damage there.
Rage being cycled at the start for Soki and Bob the Rock Zap on Lucas's end. First miner being played on the same exact tile.
Yes, sir. Soki gonna leak a little bit of elixir. Go for the Phoenix back along with the lava with Bob. And we are going to be seeing a lava mirror matchup for game 2 of this best of 3.
Yep, and this Phoenix going in front of lava just, it's things that you can't have. And I like the Skelly Dragons and Electro Dragon from Lucas and Mo. It just feels like a complete lava deck in the more traditional sense. This balloon is not going to get a shot on tower, but both sides being able to defend relatively well.
E-Drag's so underrated, like you said, in this matchup so far. I feel like it's going to get so much value. This balloon connecting on the right side for double connection somehow as well. But a bad cage from Lucas and Mo. This Gombrawler doing quite a bit of damage on the other end of things.
Yeah, uncharacteristic mistake from our reigning world champion. This Goblin Brawler is going to force a bomber out. One of the only cheap defensive on the day, and that Rage just seems kind of like a cycle card from Bob.
Yeah, not really necessary for the defense. Maybe just trying to get back to that Inferno Dragon for the defense, or back to a Lava to start another push.
Yep, Barb split all the way in the back. No E-drag from Bob and Sosa. Zap is going to be able to reset and take the Inferno Dragon out. Big Dragon does go to work on the Barbs. This is a Phoenix respawn, and now we see the tempo shift towards LeBron James.
Yep, that Phoenix respawn definitely shifting things a bit. Tower's down to 931. This counter push is looking brutal. We see 3 dragons, a lava, and a balloon coming down. This E-drag needs to be the MVP, but Fireball arrows will take it out. Lava's gonna pop, arrows gonna deal quite well, and a second Fireball gonna come through total on the board here and clean up that defense fantastically.
Yep, Lucas and Mo taking advantage of the pressure. Phoenix on the lava, how not the Inferno Dragon. That is huge. It's gonna get taken down, and that cage goes down super quickly. This is looking like it's gonna be game, barring some extreme situation.
Yeah, they know they can't defend, so they go for the Evo Barbs plus Balloon the Bridge. They go for another set of Evo Barbs in the Ops lane as well. But a really nice Skeletons to pull this back. A good building plus a Dragon on the left for the defense. And that is going to be GG's. And we're going to game 3, I believe, with... No, sorry. We're going to be done with this best of 3. Mohamed Light and Lucas taking game 2 fantastically with this Lava Mirror matchup.
Excellent work from 2 greats of this game. Unfortunately, LeBron James not going to be able to win a championship this time around, but he will have a chance to get a medal and get on the podium in our 3rd place match. Going to be playing against the loser of the next semifinals match. And unfortunately, you know, as much as I would want to see LeBron James in the final, this does give us a chance to see Lucas play against his ex-Pain teammate Wallace in the grand final, pending on the results of this next semifinal.
Absolutely. Very similar decks with the double lava. Minnie, talk to me a little bit about the differences here and why Mohamed and Lucas may have an advantage.
Yes, one of the main things that I loved was the Electro Dragon and the Skeleton Dragons. Definitely shifted things back a little bit more towards the 1v1 tempo that we're used to seeing, as opposed to all the Phoenixes and Baby Dragons and Flying Machines that we've been seeing with Lava all day long.
Yeah, I think you're right about that E-drag. The E-drag, a lot of the time, going to be forcing out 7 elixir in response. Fireball arrows need to in order to take that out, and it just does a great job to hit the lava and everything behind it, completely blocking the lane. Also so good on the counter push versus that Inferno Dragon.
Yep, and I do not think it's a coincidence that E-Drag was used 2 games in a row from Mo and Lucas. Definitely recognizing that it could do a great job against that Lava archetype, as well as that Royal Giant archetype that we've been seeing all day long. That Electro Dragon does a great job not only of chaining, but containing the entire push. Great decks, great gameplay. Let's go into our second semifinal. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And we're back, everyone. I'm joined along by Cashman. Cashman, you predicted a LeBron James crash and burn. Wasn't the case. He also did not get a ring. You know, it's gonna be back to the drawing board for him.
Yeah, I bet against Mo and Lucas again. That was probably my first mistake. I don't know why I keep doing it, but they're gonna lose eventually, right? Right? They got to.
Yeah, you know, it's bound to happen sometime in the next decade. Maybe it'll happen today, but I would really love to see a Wallace versus Lucas in the finals, and you know, maybe they would be the ones to dethrone Mo. I'm definitely going to be taking the Arden, Toas, and Wallace combo against EGW and Capgun. I think you're still going to be rocking with the Platypus, you know, the merge between a beaver and what was it?
A beaver and a duck. Get it right, Minnie.
Duck.
Get it right. It's a
duck.
beaver and a duck, I think. I'm 90% sure. Yes, I'm rocking with the platypuses again, the platypies as they are referred to. And the reason is not just because their name is awesome, but also their gameplay is showcasing what they are made of. And that deck, the third deck that we saw in game number 3, Fireball Bait Double Monk, I really like that deck. And that just showcases that they're confident in this 2v2 format. We've seen a lot of repetition with decks, but we only saw that deck once. And I'm excited to see what Platypus have in store for us here in the semifinals.
100%. I'm honestly been loving the decks from Mancos throughout. They've been consistent with their Firecracker Evos, and honestly, I do not think it's going to stop until they're stopped. So let's just hope to see that something is able to neutralize the Evo Firecracker just a tad bit. But let's be honest, there's about 3 meta decks right now: Bait, RG, and that Drill Cycle. So
yeah, and it's funny to see that we finally saw Evo Skeletons, and we saw it before the Evo Mortar. And come on, JJ, you're not going on the Platypuses? Why am I even still in this? I think I'm so far behind in points. We could just remove my name from the predictions. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. Or maybe I'm due. I'm sticking with the Platypuses, not because of the name, because they are skilled. But we're talking about skill as well. Mancos, we've watched their first game in the quarterfinals. They were amazing. We saw them in the semifinals. They were amazing. They really look like a team out there, and they look like one unit, and that is scary. Similar to what Muhammad Light and Lucas has looked like. It doesn't look like 2 people playing. It looks like one.
yep, cohesion and communication completely linking up for Arden, Toas, and Wallace. On the other end, the Platypus team, can't complain about them as well. We've seen some communication mistakes from teams throughout the day, and those are the teams that have been knocked out. So at this point, we have the teams that can communicate well, that can play well, that can play great decks, that have great synergies, that know who's going to defend. So I'm really excited for these next games that we have remaining. It's coming close. We already have a waiting champion in Muhammad Light and Lucas in the grand final. But now it's time to see who is going to challenge them on their podium. Wallace, Arden, Toas, Capgun, EGW take the arena.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Evo Mortar. Whoa, I just spoke it into existence. So that is the last Evo card we need to see. So bait on top for Wallace and Arden. It's weird because they've been pretty consistent with their decks. They haven't really pushed the envelope, really going with an off meta. I'm saying meta like there's already a 2v2 meta, but we haven't seen this deck yet. So is that confidence, or maybe they're trying something new? And Capgun going with, we're going to see the Fireball Bait deck that I love so much. Is this a good matchup? I don't know. It depends on these Mother Witches. These Mother Witches can turn the tide of battle quick if Wallace and Arden cannot deal with them. And right now, it is targeted on the Skeleton King, but if it could retarget onto maybe a couple of these skeletons and help out with this Phoenix, no. It looks like, oh, there it goes. Couple of pigs get spawned, but overall, not a big deal. And a stalemate starting off. A nice, solid stalemate.
Just a tad bit of protection on that Mother Witch. You have to keep in mind, there's 2 of them. Oh, that Phoenix respawn is going to be huge. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits from that respawn. Phoenix resurging into existence. Spirit God's going to pick up Flying Machine as it's locked onto that Mighty Miner. And I want to talk about the problem with these Mother Witches. There's two of them, Cash. One of them could have already been a significant problem on its own, but shut down by spell. But they're rocking with two, and I feel like out of all the decks in the 2v2 mini meta that has been created so far, this is gonna do one of the better jobs at taking care of this bait deck from Wallace and Ardent Toast.
I like how you call it a mini meta. I think that's the perfect way to describe what we're seeing. I like how we're seeing like a kind of change over the course of this tournament. Mortar is not going to get the lock. It is distracted by the Monk right now. Phoenix has been a little bit annoying. We see the ability popped a little early just to make sure this Mortar doesn't get a lock on tower, because every Mortar shot is going to count. Evo Firecracker on this left side. It does get splashed though by the Mortar, and it wasn't the best. It's weird because the Evo Firecracker, we talk about how good it is, but it's not the best at dealing with skeletons. With that splash damage, it takes what, 3-4 ticks for to actually get the skeletons out of the arena. And this is a big push on this right side. Arrows come down, Mortar on defense. We have Pigs on the left side. They're going to deal a little bit of damage, but a push that I thought was very scary. Pretty easy.
Yep, and now we get to see our first Evo Mortar of the day. This is going to be a great reflection from this Monk onto this Firecracker. Chains onto the tower and also spawns a Goblin on top of the Mortar itself.
Wow,
Great
that interaction is weird. It is so weird to see a Goblin, a Mortar hit the Monk, but also then spawn a Goblin. It looks weird, and ooh, very aggressive on the right side. We see E-Barbs, we see Rage, we see Royal Hogs. Skeletons should be more than enough to take out all the... It just seems... It's weird because the pushes always look threatening. They're big, they're scary, but that's just one big spell, and it's like, oh, bye-bye push, and Mother Witch is going to target on a couple of these skeletons on the left side. Evo Firecracker is going to be a problem, especially if protected, and Wallace and Ardent Toast are just focusing on defense, and I like that they have opportunity right now to go into the left side or the right side. They're not only focusing on one lane, and they don't have to.
Yes, and if you take a look at Wallace and Ardent Toast's deck, one of them has an Evo Firecracker, the other one's an Evo Mortar, so we see a mix of Evos here. Oh no, and that is not what you want when you're Wallace and Ardent Toast.
Wow, we were just talking about their cohesion, their unity, how good they've been as a team. That's a mistake, but it doesn't even look like it's costing them at all. They got a ton of damage still. Imagine if they didn't make that mistake. Maybe they're trying to make it close for the content, because this push on the right side, it looks pretty threatening, especially if this Firecracker can survive. Arrows come in, Pigs on tower, the game's getting closer, but it still looks like Wallace and Arden are in control.
In control, but it feels like they're just freaking out a little bit. We see double heroes on the left-hand side, not even an ability pop for those barbs. So great pressure from Captain and EGW. These skeleton barrels are gonna get to tower and maybe, just maybe, take the game. Gonna leave them fireball and or poison range, and this is looking like it's all sewn up for Wallace and Ardent Toast.
Yeah, there comes the poison, there comes the log, and that's gonna be GG. It's ooh, it always looks so scary, this deck. There's so many things you have to deal with. You have to deal with the Mother Witch, the Flying Machine, the Piggies. Maybe there's also going to be a couple of E-Barbs running at you. But Wallace and Arden did a really good job of just controlling the attack. Even the attacks that look scary, they just took piece by piece. On defense, they looked amazing. On offense, you can argue that maybe they slipped up with that mortar placement right there. Overall, though, we saw even like double skeleton barrels coming in at the right time. We saw them attacking at the right time. We saw them using spells on the Mother Witch at the right time. Overall, like, as a team, if we're looking at not the deck selection, not the gameplay, but just playing as a team, Wallace and Arden might be one of the best we've seen today.
Yep, and that was another simultaneously placed mortar on the exact same square towards the end there when they were trying to hold off to the push to get back to the final spell. Great gameplay from these two, though. And one thing that I wanted to point out about Captain and EGW's deck that I mentioned before when they played in the previous round, you're sacrificing spells for troop pressure. And that, while it's creating a lot of pressure, like you're seeing, Cashman, you're getting, wow, that's a lot of piggies. That's a big push. I don't know how they're going to deal with that. That amount of pressure with the lack of spells to complement the amount of pressure that they have just feels like they don't have enough spells to make room for all the troops to get to tower.
Yeah, whenever I see a deck, whenever a viewer shows me a deck and they're like, how do I improve it? Usually the thing I look at first is spells. Use spells. Spells are good. Spells are the broken card before broken cards became a thing. Like champions, like evolutions. Spells were the broken card. And not having spells, especially in 2v2, ×2 elixir, ×3 elixir, we see those bigger pushes get harder and harder to deal with. And arrows are great. Don't get me wrong. It is a spell. But why not have more? Why not have the poison? Why not have the fireball? I know what they're going for with that deck and what that strategy of that deck was. Maybe it's just a little too ambitious.
Yeah, it just seems like regular bridge spam amplified to 2v2. And it just feels like in this mini meta, it just doesn't fare. There's always going to be answers to everything that they have. Regardless, let's see what they bring out for game 2. See if they just maybe throw to drill firecracker like Wallace and Arnatoas are doing. Bomber, double bomber. Are we seeing our first E-Giant of the day here?
No, I'm going to go with Lava Hound. It's got to be Lava Hound, right? Oh, you might be. What is? Wait. What are they cooking? What is? We've seen this already before. We've seen them play untraditional decks, and with that Inferno Dragon, I think you might be right. If it's E-Giant, is it good? I don't know.
With one building from Wallace and Arnatoas, I would argue yes. But against a team that's been rocking drill plus one tower, one like structure, I'm not sure it's the way to go. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping it's Lava Hound still, which it 100% could still be.
And there it is, Lava Hound. Yep. So no Electro Giant today, sadly, but Inferno, you got the Inferno Tower on defense if you're Wallace and Arden. And ooh, Lightning comes in early, but it's still a relatively healthy Inferno Tower. It should be able to at least pop the Lava Hound, and then arrows come in. And again, clean defense by Wallace and Arden Toas. That's been the name of the game for them today. It's just clean defense after clean defense after clean defense. And the damage is just coming from these consistent win conditions. You see the drill, you see the miner, and it's crazy to say this, but also the evil firecracker. It has been, can I call it a win condition, Mini? Is that allowed? Are you allowing me to say it?
I think it's, if we take a look at a damage chart of today, firecracker will have done the most damage on towers. So honestly, it's fine by me.
That just seems wrong, calling Firecracker a win condition, but it might be the best in the game right now. Miner tries to get on top of this Firecracker. It focuses on first the Fire Spirit, and then Spear Goblins have to be played late. Poison on defense. This Mighty Miner on the left side scares me a little bit. Bomber comes in, should be fine. This Balloon isn't going to get on tower, and that Firecracker is still alive on that right side. Firecracker must be one of the most annoying cards in the game. We see the drill come in. You still have to deal with this Firecracker coming at the bridge, and now you got to deal with her evolution as well. And look how much. Wow.
Getting double lineups on that.
That is a ton of damage. Does get the King Tower activation as well, so that's going to help against these Lava Hound pushes in the future. Miner does get picked up by the Skeleton King, and I think Platypus can. Now that we're into double elixir, the longer this game goes on, I like their chances. They have the heavier deck. Usually heavier decks work well in ×2 elixir, but I also like the fact that the Evo Firecrackers are now out of cycle. This is their opportunity to break through. I don't know if it's going to be enough with this Lightning.
It just, Cashman, we talk about deck picks and EGW being this mad scientist, OP Sam reminiscing, right? But you're going Lava Hounds against Evo Firecrackers that you've been seeing all day. Just does not feel like it's the best option. Miner and drill being played today. Miner in the back, trying to protect the Firecracker at the bridge. I love the awareness here, but this tower is going down and it's going down fast. However, there is a chance for one final push.
Yeah, do they have enough time though? Because this is where the spell cycle can come in. Miner doesn't get picked up, Bomber up high instead, and that tower's down to 330. That's a couple of poisons, but we saw before, you got to focus on, no, that defense is pretty much gone. I love the addition to the Phoenix. Having to deal with the Phoenixes, the Firecrackers, and whoa, Mini. Okay, never mind. Tornado pulls everything back. The Phoenix though, it's so cool that they added, it started off with just the Firecracker and just the Inferno Tower in this deck, and then we saw...
Hold on, doublers.
No. Oh my gosh, that was, I thought the game was over, but the spell, I always forget about the spell output these players. Because there's double amount of spells, anything can happen. Death damage from the Balloon as well. Okay, it sucks to see the Platypus lose, but I like what they did today. They played well, they played hard, they showed us some really interesting decks as well. Sadly, it did not work in this mini meta, and I just want to see the ending once more. What did I miss here?
Missed arrows there. made some room. There was also not enough elixir for the Inferno Tower, which opened the channel for that balloon to get close to tower. Lightning here, and if EGW had arrows here comboed with Capgun, it would have been enough to take the game.
So close. So close.
So close.
So we're talking like one, if remember that miner that got played at the back, if they were able to pick up that miner, maybe they would have won the game right there. Maybe that would be enough time for them to accumulate enough elixir to get that last spell and to win the game and push us to a game number 3. But that's it for them. Technically not it. They still have to play in the 3rd place game against, who's in the 3rd? LeBron. It's weird to say
Slam
LeBron's
dunk champion. It's the slam dunk champion for you, Cashman. Show some respect.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I didn't hear a lot of slam dunk puns when you were casting the LeBron match. I'm disappointed in you, Minnie. Very disappointed.
Yes, because he got dragged around the court by Mo and Lucas, but in the first 2, I think I was okay with it. Regardless, we'll be seeing some more LBJ, Bob the Rock, and Sosa action against EGW and Capgun coming up real soon. And honestly, in this one, it just feels like it was the deck selection for EGW and Capgun that really held them back.
Yeah, it might just be Evo Firecracker. The amount of times I've been looking at this breakdown, and I'm trying to think of like, what's the differentiator? Why is one team winning and why is one team losing? And a lot of times I look at that Firecracker. Maybe it's just because it has a glowing border that kind of gets my attention. I'm like a mosquito. I go towards the light, or a moth. But it's good. It's really, really good. And we saw that one Firecracker get on tower, and that was 700 damage, 750 damage. And that's when the game kind of became awkward.
Yeah, that Evo Firecracker is so polarizing, especially when both the splash damage radiuses of the big radius and the small ones line up on the tower, around 1,000 damage. Great gameplay. We're going down to our last 2 matches, our 3rd place match and our finals. We'll be right back after this break.
Don't go anywhere.
And we are back for our third place match, Cashman. It's LeBron James versus your Platypi. I just want to take a second to give a motivational speech to LeBron James. LeBron, you've been through a lot, 20 years in the NBA, multiple rings, multiple championships. When you get kicked down, when the world beats you down, it's time to get back up. And this is the time to do it against the Platypus duo. The Platypi have united. They have gathered all the Platypi from around the world to watch this specific match right here. Cashman, I know you're rooting for your Platypi, but what do they need to do in order to take this one against the NBA champ?
If you keep talking like that, you got to watch out. The Lakers might pick you up as a motivational speaker for their team just to back up LeBron, really get him going in those tough games. Yeah, LeBron's been good. There has been some flaws. Platypi, they've been good, but they have also had some flaws. I'm sticking with Platypi just because I love the deck variants. We've seen it work, we've seen it not work, but overall they've showed confidence, they've played well together, they show that they're not scared of taking risks. And this game, I know it's the semifinal game, people are, or the third place game, and people are like, oh, it's just a third. No, there's a lot of money on the line. If you win this game, that's an extra couple of $100. This is a very big match for these players, and they both want to win.
100% money, no stranger to LeBron James, but he's always looking to get onto that podium. It's all about the placement. It's all about the fame. It's all about your character. This is his time to show it. This is their time to show it. I'm excited. I think they'll have a lot more facilitations, not going up against the world champion Lucas and an analyst. So I think their decks are going to be able to go back to what we've seen from them before today. It's going to be a lot of synergy, a lot more clean 2v2 gameplay. Because let's face it, Mo and Lucas are the team to beat in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say we're going to see some firecrackers, and we're going to see, I was going to say goblin drill, but already out of the gate, we're seeing bait and great king tower activation, couple of skeletons get on tower on the left side, and we see another skeleton barrel, okay, cleanly defended on the right side. So, wow, Bob the Rock, LeBron James is coming out swinging right out of the gates, and a hog rider, okay. That's different, and that's why I like the Platypi. They're not scared of taking risks. They're not scared about going against the meta. And this Hog Rider, is this a good decision? I guess we'll find out.
Pioneers of the game are the Platypi. Long time coming, and LeBron James showing us that he has moves, he has handles, he can dunk, but he can also play log bait. And first time seeing bait from LeBron James here tonight. It's looking like the Hog does a good job at matching up, because we know there's log either from one or from both of Captain and EGW, but this Inferno Tower, not sure how they're gonna get past it. I'm interested to see if it's a double EQ rocking from the Platypi duo, or if they have a lightning mixed in as well.
Yeah, that's going to be the big question. The lightning would be delightful. And you see the firecracker play at the same spot and do absolutely nothing. Okay, a little bit of maybe a miscommunication, and now leading to a bunch of poison value. We see the double Hog Riders come in, Ice Spirit on defense, Dark Goblin as well, Log to push them back, but that's another Hog hit. Fireball takes out the Dark Goblin, and okay, I thought it was a misplay, but maybe it was just a poison bait to bait on Elixir. That's tower down on the right side.
The Hog Rider raises its hammer and dunking, taking a move out of LeBron James, but dunking that hammer on that tower. Tower goes down to 200, already going to be in poison range and fireball range. Not quite EQ with this Goblin Barrel and Skeleton Barrel combo with this King Tower activated is going to be a lot less menacing, just because you have two more cannons working on those small units that tend to swarm up without that activation. Executioner here that's going to do a great job of cleaning up. But the problem with this Executioner is just going to be spell value, and it's not going to be a threat on the back foot because this right tower is already basically down.
Yeah, I'm still scared. Where's the small spells right now from the Platypi? That scares me a little bit right now, but also if this is a two-tower situation, I like that they're already setting up on this left side, going in with double Hog Rider, but the Barbs, oh no. these barbs should get infinite value. Monk pops its ability, one Hog Rider on tower, second Hog Rider getting on tower, one shot, and that's it. Fireball takes out the Dark Goblin, but that's a lot of damage. So if they get to a 2-tower situation, which they most likely will, already putting themselves in a situation to succeed. Firecracker on defense, Skeleton Barrel does pop, but you have to use Elixir now on the right side. That means you don't have enough Elixir to defend this push cleanly. EQ comes in and, oh, okay, never mind.
Hog? More Hog right here, what was he?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't take advantage of that opportunity. Oh, no.
Beautiful. Sensational awareness.
That's like almost tower down with one Firecracker shot. Freeze! Wait, a freeze? And because the freeze deals damage with the help of the bats and the damage from the fireball, was able to get through those Evo barbs like they were nothing. We see double Goblin Barrel coming in, we see double Skeleton Barrel coming in, and it's not going to be enough. It was close, but it's not enough. EQ takes it. GG, well played.
Wow. That is definitely a matchup worth seeing again. I'm really hoping we get to see it one more time, run it back. That was great Clash Royale right out of the gate. LeBron James came out swinging. Skeleton Barrel, Goblin Barrel on both sides of the tower simultaneously. But the Hog counter pushes behind those Firecrackers just proved to be too much. And I love how you mentioned the lack of small spells. I myself expected logs maybe from both players, but I can see why the Tornado and the Fireball with that Tornado also complemented with the Executioner and the Firecracker was a very smart idea to take. And it came down relatively close, Cashman. This last tower was not far from going down at the end.
I just keep looking at their decks every single time. I say, wow, wow. This is incredible. We have not seen this deck at all today. And when the going gets tough, when the money's on the line, when you have to win, they pull out the confidence. And not only that, but like looking at this deck, I like it. I like the look of that deck. It's something untraditional, but it still looks like something that is good. Does that make sense? Did those words make it's untraditional maybe for today, but it looks good. There was a lot of little chemistry there with the Executioner, with the Giant Skeleton, Tornadoes, Freeze. There was a lot of, it was a deck with a lot of options. And I really like, I want to see what happens. Are they going to go back to a normal deck, or are they going to even go deeper? Are you going to see Lava Clone? Oh my gosh, no, stop it. I'm joking. I was making a joke. It's not actually Lava Clone, right? Right.
I sincerely hope not.
Against Firecracker, it seems dumb.
Yeah, that Firecracker splash would definitely be a menace to cloned units, but it does look like a traditional lava loon. One person with a loon, one person with miner on the upper side of our screen, while LeBron James seems to be going back to the miner cycle. Maybe we'll see a miner on one end and a drill on the other, or double drill could also be. But Evo Firecracker is going to be the spell of choice from both players on the bottom side of the screen and an Inferno. So, barring that this first defense miraculously gets something done for the remainder of the game, it's going to be some difficult spots for...
That Golden Knight is getting so much damage. That's almost a tower down with one Golden Knight, one champion. And what do they have to show? Nothing.
And, you know, Casman, that's just LeBron James at its finest. You talk about the curves to get down from a 1-0 situation. What better way to get right in it than with a right hand to your opponent's tower? 2,000 damage already on it, comfortably in the lead. Matchups looking good as well. Very, very comfortable start for LBJ.
Yeah, the Platypi, I'm looking at their deck and it looks like pretty similar to the Lovehound decks we've seen before. I keep thinking that there might be a twist. Maybe they go with a freeze, maybe they go with a clone, but in reality, I think we kind of know what this deck is, and this deck is very vulnerable to that. That poison is getting so much value, and the Phoenix is going to do really... Wait, Phoenix, focus on the Flying Machine. Okay, there we go. As long as this Flying Machine survives. Okay, never mind. Flying Machine does get taken out. Still a scary push. Fireball comes in, takes out the Firecracker. This poison is getting infinite value, but maybe a little bit of damage from the pups and the skill. Nope, no, not much damage at all. It's getting closer, but they got it. Oh, whoa. Is this the right play, Mini? To double down?
I just love the awareness that they're having in this Lava Hound matchup. You saw those barbs at the bridge, knowing that Inferno Dragons would be played. It did a great job of distracting them. Forced out a poison before those lava pups popped. And now we see a quick balloon miner to get some damage before they're able to set up with another Inferno on the back foot. So I love the awareness from BGW and Capgun. I just don't know if it's going to be too little in this matchup in order to get them.
It's a small thing, but I saw a little bit maybe of a mistake against that balloon defense by LeBron. They played the tornado on defense and the goblin drill, and they didn't need both. That's 4 technically elixir that you would love to have on this push. Doesn't look like it's going to matter just because Evo Firecracker doing Evo Firecracker things, and it's double Evo Firecracker. If one was already bad, 2, it's GG's. Is that like getting Exodia in Yu-Gi-Oh? You get 2 Evo Firecrackers on the field, and it's just like, oh yeah, you won. GG's, good game.
I think LeBron James just did an alley-oop with both those firecrackers in order to get the dunk. We're going to a game 3. LeBron James taking this completely dominant fashion.
Yeah, it looks like it's like he alley-ooped it to himself off the backboard for the slamma-jamma, and that slamma-jamma was right here. We saw the double Evo Firecracker. One gets on tower, and it's not even like the second one actually needs to do anything. The one was more than sufficient, and we keep saying it over and over. Evo Firecracker, Evo Firecracker, Evo Firecracker. I don't know what to do to stop the Evo Firecracker, because if we look at the Platypus deck, they have ways to deal with it, but even then it still doesn't feel like it's enough. Or if you deal with it, you're spending so much elixir, you're spending so many resources that it almost puts you further behind than you initially were.
Yep, I mean, I myself would be trying to think of a counter, but what comes to mind for myself? Monk RG, right? A lightning for the Inferno, the Monk reflection for the Firecrackers. But you have the double Phoenix from Bob the Rock and Soki in that deck, and you also have a Mighty Miner. If an ability's pop, it's going to go to town. So it just feels like this deck is the way to go for LeBron James.
Yeah, I like the idea of the Royal Giant, and it looks like, no, they're going to go bridge spam again. So we've seen a little bit of success with this deck. We've seen it twice. It's won one and it's lost one, but they're doubling down, and it looks like LeBron is just playing the exact same deck they've been rocking with. We got Miner, we got Firecrackers, we got Goblin Drills, and quick King Tower activation, good poison getting the tower, the Mother Witch, and also the Monk. Didn't we see this matchup already, and didn't the matchup go heavily favored for the Firecracker? Wow, it's funny saying that. Evo Firecracker as matchup. It seems like it does, at least in every matchup.
Always does, but look, I just mentioned double Monk. EGW and Capcom think that that's the answer. It's just gonna come down to if this Mighty Miner, if these Phoenixes get enough value on the Monks to prevent them from neutralizing the Firecrackers.
Ooh, E-Barb's at the bridge. This is aggressive. And the Bandit and the Heal Spirit. Monk is reflecting all the tower damage. Look how much Elixir Bob and Soki have. They don't have a lot. And now they have to deal with Royal Hogs as well. Tornado doesn't get the E-Barb. E-Barb on tower. This tower is going down. LeBron James just got dunked on.
LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that was a foul, so the dunk doesn't really count.
Hey, we got to get a
But
VAR.
LeBron James just got dunked on. Let me get a VAR check on that.
That was great timing, and you said it with the Monk. The Monk, a well-timed Monk, can get so much value because, yes, there was a big push. Yes, it was vulnerable to spells, but they don't have the Fireball. They have the Poison, which wouldn't have been enough. But even if they did have the Fireball, what are you going to do? Throw it on the Monk? No, because it gets reflected back to your tower, and this should be enough to win this game, win this set, and get that third place for the Platypuses. Shout out to, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. There's still a lot of time left. But as long as they keep doing what they're doing, focusing on defense, the damage output that scares me is only the Firecracker. The Evo Firecracker is the only card that can get them back into this game, get LeBron back into this game. So just make sure that doesn't happen if you're the Platypi.
Yeah, and this Monk reflection on the left-hand side, reflecting both towers, reflecting the bottom tower, opening the door up for these pigs to get more damage, and on top of that tower that's already gone.
There it is.
Feels like this tower taken down opens up room to place right on top of that Firecracker before she can even get a shot off. And
Oh, I love that. I love that. Right when you saw the Firecracker, they know how scary it is. Not only do they use the E-Barbs, but they also use the Evo Barbs. They just were like, hey, just get it out of here. We're going to use as much, all of our elixir. Just get this thing out of the arena. And that is a very well-played game by the Platypuses. And that is a defeat to LeBron James. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. That is LeBron James crashing the burning. LeBron, we enjoyed seeing your talent here in the Clash Royale arena. Next time,
Stick to basketball, LeBron. Stick to basketball.
LeBron, these are the haters. They're going to be like that. They're going to tell you that there's no place for you in the sport. Truthfully, I'm excited to see you back again in the arena. Keep practicing, keep mastering those interactions. I believe you can really be a champion at this thing one day. Keep it up.
I am on the team hater, and I say give it up, retire, go back to basketball, or even just retire from basketball. Clash Royale, it's not for you. There's better people out there, and that better people are called Platypus. They are good, they are talented, they are creative with their decks, and they have been able to dominate in this tournament. But it's not over. We still have one more game. We still have a really big game coming around the corner. I feel bad just bashing LeBron so much, but LeBron James as the basketball player, not a big fan. This team played phenomenal today. They played a little conservative, in my opinion. They played the same deck multiple times. They played either the bait firecracker or the goblin drill firecracker. Do I hate them for doing that? No, because we've seen that deck dominate the entire tournament. But I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more. Is that too much to ask?
It's not. You just feel like the Platypi, they did a great job. You predicted it yourself. Finally getting some predictions rolling. Just remember for this next match and for the next tournament, we're predicting who's gonna win the best of threes, not the ones who are gonna lose. So for the next ones, I think you're gonna get some more predictions asserted. Honestly, I can't complain. I can't complain about what LeBron James did today. You can have the win today. Your Platypi did a great job.
You got to take your dubs when you get the dubs. And yes, today, last game, we did get a dub. Platypi win. LeBron is out. And the last two teams we have remaining are very good. And we will see what happens in the finals. Who will be the champion of the 2v2 tournament right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting, it's hot. Look what I got, whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission.
We are back. You better have not gone anywhere because this is the end. This is what it all comes down to. This is 4 years in the making. Who is the best at 2v2 in Clash Royale? JJ, who do you think?
We have Muhammad Light and Lucas versus Arden and Wallace. I gotta go for Muhammad Light this round. You know, Muhammad Light and Lucas, we've seen them absolutely destroy their opponents, pick them apart together throughout. We thought maybe there would be some miscommunications, maybe some of this, a little of that, but no, they are on point and they are playing perfect. That's just what Muhammad Light does, and that's who I got to go with.
No, I agree. We've seen a master class by Muhammad Light and Lucas today. We've seen them not only showcase their skills individually, but also as a team. And that's why I'm voting for Mancos. Let's go, Mancos. Muhammad Light and Lucas, they can't keep getting away with this. They're down, they're due for a loss. And if anybody can do it, I think Mancos is a serious threat to dethrone the king.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. If there's anyone that can do it in this bracket, it's definitely Wallace and Arden. There's no language barrier. We don't talk about that at all today. But, you know, Lucas, Muhammad, definitely different first languages there. Mancos, they're on point. Their communication is going to be perfect. And I would not be surprised to see them take these two down a peg.
I think maybe I'm underselling both of these teams by saying this, but I think these two teams have showcased the best teamwork chemistry out of all the teams. They were able to play as almost like a single unit. It doesn't look like two different players playing when these two teams play. We've seen Mancos play from the first game of the day, and they have dominated. Have they made a mistake yet? Maybe. Has there been a mistake yet? But that's also can be said the same for Lucas and Mo. So what does it come down to? Well, if any make a mistake, if the nerves get involved, any mistakes happen, any tension between the team happens, that could be the downfall.
Absolutely. And, you know, you made a good point there. Maybe it's really just going to come down to who makes that first mistake. Who is going to get into the other's head first? We talk about in 1v1s how important matchups are, but in 2v2s it's the opposite. It's more about the mental, the communication, the synergy, the not placing two things down for one defense.
And the Evo Firecracker.
And the Evo Firecracker. Isn't that the truth with the meta right now? But yeah, whoever makes that first mistake, maybe that's all it's going to take for that mental to skew one way and the other to take that advantage.
I think this is a pick 'em. I couldn't tell you if I'm not a betting man, and I wouldn't be able to bet on either of these two teams just from what they've showed us today. The one thing maybe I could take away from them is they've been kind of predictable with their deck selection. We've seen Lucas and Mo use Lava Hound a lot today. They've used RG once, maybe twice, if they used it in the first game that we didn't see them play. And they also like the Firecracker, Bait, or Goblin Drill. That's basically, you kind of know what you're going up against, but that's also the same with Wallace and Arden. So I don't know how this works. I guess the meta is still being formed, but is there a best deck to pull out in game number one?
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, like I've said a million times, it's just that communication, that good play that is usually mattering more, which is why we see these players, like you said, use the same deck over and over and over again, because a lot of the time, if there's a loss, it's not about that deck, it's about a mistake being made. So they just run it back and say, okay, we're going to make better plays this time. We're going to learn from those mistakes. Looking at overall, is there a best deck for this meta? If I was to guess or say my opinion on it, I guess I got to go for that drill plus minor with the Evo Firecrackers, the quick cycle, the double big spell, the poison plus fireball. It seems like poison and fireballs get so much value in 2v2.
Yeah, and I guess we're going to see what decks they come up with. Lava Hound has just been played so much by Mo, and ooh, that's not Evo skeletons. Interesting. So those are just normal skeletons. They're going quick cycle, and we're seeing Lava Hound come out from Wallace and Arden Toas at the bottoms. Drill. So we got Cycle versus Lava Hound. We've seen this matchup today, but it hasn't actually been very consistent on the outcome. It wasn't like one deck wins all the games. It's been kind of, I think, more towards the Cycle, more towards the Firecracker Goblin Drill deck, but it's not a free win.
Yeah, this Phoenix just going in front of this Lava Hound going to be a huge mistake. I think that's the second time we've seen this so far. You got to play that Phoenix a lot farther back behind the lava than these players are used to. Here comes a mine on the right to try and get some chip damage. Really good set of Evo Skellies here to actually clean that miner up. That'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll see those Skellies get some value. It's just with a lava deck like this, a slow cycle, I wouldn't be surprised if we never even see those Skellies get to the Evo form.
Yeah, that's a good, very, very good point. Also, if we're looking at the decks, am I overreacting when I say, do you see that bomb tower on the top right? That's not an Inferno tower. Why does that scare me?
I mean, that's gotta scare you versus a lava air-based deck like this. That bomb tower getting little to no value. You know, maybe the bomb tower death bomb will be able to clean some lava pups here or there. But generally speaking, you're right. Not having an Inferno or a building that can target air, it's definitely going to mean difficult defenses overall.
Yeah, if anybody can do it, it's Mo and Lucas, two of the best in the game. But even them, at the end of the day, like Mo said, he is human. He is not a robot. I'm still not 100% convinced, but you know what? I'll take his word for it. I don't know if they're going to be able to defend these pushes, especially... Wait, what? Why the Phoenix in front again? Wait, what is going on?
I don't know. They just keep playing that Phoenix in front or just too close to the lava mountain so that it goes in front. It's some massive mistakes. We see two Evo Factors come out and they both get wiped off the board though. Maybe they can make something happen with this. And at least it's a Phoenix, right? At least there's going to be that egg on the back end, but it's not going to get any value.
Yeah, I wonder if that Phoenix was behind. Is there a world where this game could be over before it even started? That's a mistake that, okay, whoa. This push on the left side still looks scary. Poison comes in, arrows come in, miner at the back, firecracker finally gets down. Skeleton Dragon on the right side is not dealing insignificant amount of damage as well. So both towers are getting really low, and just like that, Wallace and Arden fly into the lead, and they have absolute control. They have more elixir, and they have the arena in their control. This is their game to lose. They just need to make sure they don't make a mistake. But going up against Muhammad Light, this is where maybe the nerves get in. You're so close, but yet so far.
Here comes the drill plus poison. Mighty Miner going to stop this firecracker at the bridge. Well played. Skelly Drags also dealing with these goblins. Goblins do get quite a bit of chip though. Evil Firecracker forces out a fireball. Flying Machine at the bridge. Fireball on the defense. Does they have another firecracker on the defense here? They don't have anything else that targets air.
Is the splash getting on tower? That's the Skeleton Dragon splash. There's so much damage coming in, and look at both towers now. Skeletons at the bridge, Evo Skeletons, and who saw that coming? Them getting taken out immediately. Let's go, Evo Skeletons. You guys can do it. This push on the right side, I think, is the last push. Fireball comes in, miner at the back, arrows come in, tornado as well, which was a lot. I think they knew that it was do or die for them. They had to win there, and they're just selling out because this Lava Hound is dealing damage. They have no way to stop it. They're trying to distract the Skeleton Dragons, and it's not going to be enough. GG, well played. We are one game away from Muhammad Light not winning a tournament. JJ, is this a dream?
I don't know. This is crazy. This is something unprecedented. Muhammad Light almost never loses a first game of the set. They have to come back and reverse sweep if Mo Light does want to be the back-to-back-to-back Snapdragon Pro Series winner here for the 3 different game modes that we're covering so far this year.
I feel bad saying this, but I hate, and I'm saying the word hate, Muhammad Light and Lucas's deck selections. You know that there's 4 decks in this mini meta, as Mini Mentor says. One of them's Lava Hound.
Yeah.
And you come in with the audacity of only having a Firecracker and a Firecracker. That's not going to be enough. Why would you pick this deck in the first game? That is not a good decision.
It's preposterous. It's crazy. They need something. They need a Phoenix maybe. They need an Inferno Tower maybe, just to do something on the defense. And you know what, Wallace and Arden, this is not the first time they've run Lava either. Maybe just a bad prediction of the deck selection from their coach in that situation.
It's too ambitious. Like you said, if they just added in an Inferno Tower, they added in a Phoenix, we've seen Spear Goblins as well, that would have been more than enough. You would have been able to beat that matchup, and most likely, if it was a mirror matchup, beat that matchup too. We know how skilled they are. We know how good they are. Why are they putting themselves at a deck disadvantage and putting themselves behind before the game even starts, pecking that deck? It's just, it's not versatile enough for the current meta that we're in. With all the different decks, with all the different Evos, I just want to see a better deck in game number 2.
Yeah, that's a great call out. I mean, if they did put a Phoenix in, it's not like it would break the deck. It's not like it would change maybe a mirror matchup or something like that. And then you cover yourself a little bit versus that lava possibility. I mean, you talk about there being 3 different decks in this meta. Isn't it really 2? Isn't it just the Firecracker and the lava that we've seen really dominate in this 2v2 meta so far today?
Yeah, so if that's the case, why are they bringing out the bomb tower? That doesn't make sense to me, because if you think of, okay, Inferno Tower, well, it's good against Royal Giant, but we see sometimes it's good against Lava Hound. Why use bomb tower? Like, I don't get it. There's no reason. Like, it's good against barbarians. Well, you have so many other ways to deal with barbarians. We've seen the Berry, for example, get a ton of value against barbarians. We've seen spells get a ton of value against barbarians. Even the Mighty Miner bomb. And it looks like, are they running it back? Are they trolling us? Did they hear us say, like, yo, this deck stinks, I hate this deck? And they're like, hey, you want to see how good we are? We're gonna do it again, and we're gonna do it better.
Really ambitious Firecracker in the right there, trying to get some chip damage in the right, but the Gold Knight takes it out immediately. Definitely not as much damage as they would hope for. Here comes a Phoenix back, a Miner to pressure, and a Drill from Mo. Ghost on the defense, though. And we kind of see the difference in Wallace and Arden's deck than Mo's deck. They have that Phoenix to cover versus the Lava. But who knows? Maybe that one change is enough at this high of a level in 2v2 that Mo and Lucas can have that advantage with a quicker cycle. Maybe we were wrong all along. Maybe they are just trying to go for this mirror matchup and take a win with it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to eat my words, because I was like, oh yeah, if you add these cards, it's not gonna hinder yourself in the mirror matchup. But I can already see that this quick cycle deck, that means you get more Evo Firecrackers, more champions, more miners, more spells, and we've seen in the past that that's how this deck wins. So if you can just play more than your opponent, well, I think the math is you'll win the game. And right now they're off to not a super quick start. They're getting a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there, but it's when the Evo Firecrackers start getting played, that's when the game begins.
And that's what that's all about, right? With the quick cycle, just can I get another Evo Firecracker in my hand? And when you do, it almost always gets value.
Yeah, it is. It's the name of Clash Royale right now. It's just play Evo Firecracker, win game. We've seen it so many times today, and we're getting really close. Firecracker played on the right side. That means they're one away from an Evo Firecracker. Miner on the tower. Inferno Tower coming down. Doesn't get the King Tower activation. Is that a little bit of a... Why does that not get the King Tower activation there? That's strange.
Yeah, it is strange. It's not getting it because we're talking 2v2 here. If you just let it hit the tower, then it would do it on its own, but the Kings are a little bit farther than it would be with that normal building placement.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a big mistake, and here it is. First Evo Firecracker on the right side, Miner as well. Double Phoenix at the bridge. I think that's good. It looks like it was a misplay, but I think you have to react quick. You guys mentioned it before with Mini about the bandit in the pocket. You can't communicate that. You have to react in that moment. And I like that they did that, because making sure that Evo Firecracker is off the board every single time is great. And it looks like we do have 2 Evo Firecrackers. Nope, just one on the right side. Can they protect this Evo Firecracker? Doesn't look like it. Oh, does it? Wait a second. No, it does finally get taken out by this Royal Ghost. We have a little bit of a break in play right now, and the lead is Muhammad Light.
No Evos in cycle at the moment. Everyone's gonna have to cycle back to it. Never mind, this looks like the bottom team does have it here, but it's not getting that much value, and that Goblin Drill is just doing so much damage. Mo Light and Lucas up so much at this point.
Yeah, then this is, now that we're 30 seconds away from triple elixir, that just means more miners, more spells, more Evo Firecrackers, and that's so scary, especially when Muhammad Light and Lucas are the ones behind playing them. They know when to play them. They know how to get optimal value. And look at this defense. It looks like they have elixir. They could spend more elixir right now, but they're just playing it slow. They're just saying, hey, let's use this card. Let's believe in this card. Let's defend this card. Ice Spirit on defense against the Miner. That was so easy. That was so easy. What the heck just happened?
I mean, I guess we're seeing why they're using the deck that they're using. Maybe you don't get a good matchup versus Lava. They say, you know what? I'm gonna play chicken with you guys right now. You could bring the Lava again and wipe us out, but if we get this near matchup, the quicker cycle is just gonna give us this huge advantage. And like you said, they made it look easy. That's what Mo does. He makes things look easy, and in this situation, it was a beautiful set, a beautiful game of Clash Royale.
Yeah, they were defending and attacking at the same time. They were defending, using their arrows, taking out firecrackers, also doing damage to tower, using their log, taking out the spear goblin and the phoenix egg, and dealing damage to tower. just made it look easy.
Look at Mo's building card.
Where? Ooh, Inferno Tower.
Tower.
Okay.
He did put it in just in case his opponent would play Lava, but they kept all the other super quick cycle cards in comparison to Wallace and Arden's deck with the Phoenix and the much more expensive variation here. That's why they had such an advantage. Look at Mo and Lucas both having 2-1 elixir cards to get back to those evos, get back to the big spells, but most importantly, back to the mine, the drill, to keep those win conditions flowing on the tower.
I love the change of the Inferno Tower. And with that change, how dumb is it to just play this deck again?
I would not be surprised if that's exactly what they do. Wallace and Arden are in a really tough situation at that point because they've used Lava. They're using this deck that they're very comfortable with, but neither of those are going to beat that deck at that point with the Inferno in there. Maybe you have to go towards the Lava, put in a Lightning or a Zap to maybe try and be able to break through that Inferno Tower. But after all of this being said, there's the mind games of what if they just switch? What if they go to the bait deck? What if they go to a Lava deck themselves? Huge mind games here with the deck picks and the gameplay so far in this best of 3.
You are so correct. Going up against Muhammad Light and Lucas, it's already hard enough. But when you're adding this deck picking right now, the stress, these mental games, have they already lost? Because I'm trying to think of what deck they play. I don't know. And I have no idea. Is it RG? I don't think so. I don't think RG is a great matchup. If they have Inferno Tower, is it Lava Hound? I don't think so. Do you think they had the Inferno in the deck and then didn't play it just so at the end they're like, okay, we're gonna go Lava. Lava was successful, and then at the end they see the Inferno and they're like, ooh, that's a wrench in our plan. We can't actually go Lava now. And now it's even more things to think about, more levels to this, and I don't have an answer. I don't.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Honestly, if you're Arden or Wallace, I think you have to go for a Lava variation with something to help versus Inferno Tower. Even if they just straight up copy Lucas's and Mo's deck and try to go for a mirror matchup, that's not a situation you want to be in versus the world champ. So it is definitely a very difficult situation.
Oh my gosh, are they doing it? Are they just doubling down? Are they playing the exact same deck and going to see if they can outplay the best and second best player in the world? No, it looks like it is going to be maybe... Okay, wait. I don't think it's RG. So it is going to be a similar mirror match, but maybe they just got rid of a couple of those heavier cards like the Phoenix. But they kept the Royal Ghost. Maybe just for, I guess, for the Goblin Drill. That's a good thing, good card to keep in. I'm okay with that. Let's see what else changes. What changes they made to their decks.
I love the idea to go for the quick cycle. Maybe we're even seeing what we saw previously in this tournament with the Miner plus RG combo. I know you're a big fan of that.
Oh, don't get me started, JJ. I love it, and I think you're exactly right. I think that's what we're gonna see, and this is the X factor I like to see. I wonder if Mo, they probably knew that they had this deck in their arsenal. Wait, was it Wallace and Arden that were doing this? I thought it was another team.
So. I think it was someone else, and they took a page out of their book.
I love it. I love it. I love what they're doing right now. I love that they have the confidence to do this in the do or die game. This is game number 3. You win and you win this tournament. And if you lose, it's over. You still come second, which is good, but they don't want second. They want number 1.
Nito here going to activate King versus the Miner. A bit of a mistake from Walls and Ardo. I think they need to try and get an activation off of that last Firecracker. Definitely the activation going to give them a bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, it's a very, very close game, but these Royal Giants at the back on the left side, Log and Goblin Drill on the right, Log on defense, Royal Ghost on defense. One Goblin still gets a shot, but let's see. I want to see how they defend against this Royal Giant, because knowing Mohamed Light and Lucas, it should be easy, but one mistake against a Royal Giant, especially the Evo Giant, we've seen it tear apart towers.
Fisherman and Skelly's gonna pull this mighty, get this RG going towards the tower, bomb tower, trying to do its best on the defense. Log plus Firecracker and tower gonna do a great job. Miner not able to connect to that Firecracker. Great Golden Knight there to clean that up.
Yeah, that was as clean as it gets. I don't know what they could have done better there. That Royal Giant looked like nothing, and they have a little bit of a counter push. They might go for Evo Firecracker on the left. Has to force out the Tornado. Evo Firecracker on the right, though. They don't have another Tornado. They use the Firecracker, the Skeletons, and the Log. They are protecting this Evo Firecracker, and if there's one rule that you have to live by in Clash Royale, it's exactly that. Keep your Evo Firecracker alive, and it's still out there, and now it's finally done. But look how much damage it did.
Yeah, that Firecracker, but also because they were so focused on trying to kill that Firecracker, those drills, the miner, everything was able to do more damage as well. And the Gold Knight Dash going to do a pretty good damage to this bomb tower as well, though maybe they have a chance to break through, but this is looking pretty good for Mo.
That's their only building. Are they going to be able to cycle back to another bomb tower? Or are they going to have to try to defend with everything else? Double champions, Firecracker. This could be an opportunity. Where to go?
Firecracker did so much damage. It get wiped out, though. Here comes the arrows on top of that Firecracker. The Royal Giant does not make it. Here comes another Royal Giant. This is fantastic pressure. This is what they need to do to try and win. But this defense is just so pristine for Mo and Lucas.
Yeah, they're just cycle. They're able to get back to another bomb tower. They use the Goblin Drill on defense, which I don't know if they really needed. Maybe they could have just let the Goblin and the Mighty Miner finish off that Royal Giant. But overall, I think they're in a great spot. And now we're going to see Miner come in. Maybe, how close are we to see other Evo Firecrackers? Still 2 more, right?
I don't know. It's tough to keep track of that sort of thing with a deck that cycles so quickly here. We're heading into Triple Elixir. We have a Evo RG in hand on the left-hand side with the Miner. Gold Knight's going to pick that up. Bomb Tower on the defense. Poison here trying to get some chip damage. Mighty Miner is necessary for taking this RG out. Tornado, though, going to try and deal with that. And look at these Evo Firecrackers on the right. Taking everything out, and here comes the counter push that could end this game.
I don't think they can defend this. Never mind. Log arrows. Easy Fireball comes in. Ooh, Goblin gets a hit on tower. That's spell damage. It's over. Miner doesn't get picked up. What the? How did that happen so quick?
There it goes. That's how it is in 2v2 with all the spells and all the win conditions. The Miner, the Drill, the Poison, the Arrows, the Fireball, everything breaks through for direct damage. And Mo and Lucas is going to be your Snapdragon Pro Series 2v2 champions. Mo, back to back with a strap with the Snapdragon Pro Series wins.
Oh, baby, a triple. Oh, yeah. Let's go, Mo. Okay, the only reason I didn't bet on you, Mo, is because I knew you had it in you. It was tough love. Congratulations. Not 1, not 2, but 3 championships in the Snapdragon Pro Series. Wow. Look at this gameplay. It's just so easy. There's no mistakes on Mo and Lucas's side, and the damage, it's just consistent with spells, with Firecrackers, with Miners, even the Drill dealing a little impact damage.
Honestly, that Drill, I feel like, was the big MVP of this match. It seemed like Wallace and Arden struggled to keep that Goblin off their tower.
Every single time, it seemed like there was at least one Goblin getting a hit. And just the spells, those spells are a problem, because a lot of times those Evo Firecrackers, we didn't see them do a ton of damage. We didn't see them get on tower, but they forced out a lot of elixir. We saw them force out 8 elixir with 2 Phoenixes. Well, that's elixir that you don't have now for like the Goblin Drill, like you said, where you focus so much on the enemy at hand, you forget about the enemy that's not maybe as threatening, but it's still a threat.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the Firecracker just does so much damage and only costs 3 elixir. The amount of elixir they were spending to counter that left them dry for the Drill and the Miner a lot of the time there. And like you said, it's definitely not as much as a Firecracker could do, but throughout the match, it really kind of just adds up, and that's what that deck's all about. They chip out throughout the entirety of the match, and they finish it out with the spells.
It's crazy to think that in this tournament, we were looking at the teams just a couple hours ago saying, what team's going to win it all? And maybe the team with the best player in the world and arguably the second best player in the world. Congratulations. And they did it pretty easily. 2-0, 2-1. 2-0, 2-1. Overall, a pretty nice day for Mo and Lucas.
Mo and Lucas is going to be taking home, I believe, what is it, $1,400 each for that grand prize. That is some fantastic money for the day. GG's to both of them. Well played all around. It was some fantastic Clash Royale. 2v2, one of my favorite game modes to watch. You know, it's always hectic, but it's even more hectic with all the different Evos nowadays. It seems like it's almost impossible to keep track of how many cycles it takes to get back to that Evo, because it's hard to tell when you're playing the game, at least, which person is playing which card. And if you don't know which person is playing which card, then you don't know which person is playing which firecracker. And you never know when that evil firecracker is going to come at the bridge to try and get that shot in the tower.
JJ, it's official. I want 2v2 in Clash Royale, but in a competitive mode. I don't care if it's a grand challenge. I know it's probably not going to be ladder. I need something. After seeing what we saw today, the meta, the decks, even just the seeing Evos combined together in one deck and different champions combined together in one deck. I want that. I want that in Clash Royale. And I can't.
Wait, I won?
Wait, no. Oh, no. I had 2 points. Oh, that makes more sense. Oh.
Let's go. I thought I was tied with Mini, but he didn't pick Mo for the last one, I don't think. So I'm going to be your victor, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Wow, you're basically like Muhammad Light. Congratulations. How much money did you win?
Yeah, I totally. They're paying me $10,000 for that.
Ooh,
no, I'm just kidding.
Not bad. Not bad. You know what? Yeah, that is still... Oh, yeah, that makes more. That's where I belong. 3rd place. I can't believe it. Why did I not bet on Mo and Lucas? That was my first mistake. Yeah, they're pretty good at this game.
Hey, shout out to Cash, man, for always picking the outlier just for the content.
Going with the heart.
That's not how it works with predictions. You got to go for the best of the best, and that's what happened today. Mo going to take it all. I mean, there's no surprise. He's just that good.
Yeah, we keep talking about Mo, but let's give Lucas a little bit of love as well, because
that's true.
It's not easy playing 2v2, and it's not easy playing Mo because Mo is so good. Usually you'd see, like, okay, if he's playing, like if I was playing with Mo, you would see me maybe lagging behind a bit. They look the exact same. If I couldn't tell whose cards were who, and on defense, it just seemed like it was just going in sync. It was just one player just ba 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 ba. There weren't many mistakes. Maybe I don't think there were, at least. So, like, yeah, it's not all Mo. Maybe Mo wouldn't have been able to win this one and get the triple without Lucas. So shout out to you, Lucas.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you make some great points there. I've been talking about Mo all day, but Lucas, like you said, just kept up with him. And I would be interested to see, I wonder how many words are even exchanged between the two when they're playing. I honestly would not be surprised if they're fairly silent, just sitting there, making plays, just respecting each other, knowing that each other are going to make the correct decisions.
Well, if Muhammad Light is not a robot, I think you're right. But if he is a robot, he's probably just doing it through the neural link in his head, or the server he has in his back room. He's just doing it telepathically, because that's what it at least looked like when we were watching today. It was incredible. They played amazing. I think that's all I have to say. Like, I like 2v2. Well done to Mo Light and Lucas. You guys are champions. You deserve it. I got nothing else, though. That's it. 2v2, I love it. I wanted to end with that. JJ, do you have anything you want to say before we head out?
Thank you guys so much for watching Snapdragon Pro Series. Make sure you guys drop a follow. There's going to be links in the description. There's a Discord as well if you guys would like to join the Discord and participate in tournaments like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching one more time. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Got the time, put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win, I won't lose the game. This is my year, I ain't gonna break. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side.
On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal.
Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here.
On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal.
get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear.
The Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, and DHL.